baby. Boom! Yeah, baby. It is Wednesday night. It is a Pontificators night. I am RT Bear coming to you live from Hatchback Studios. That's where the magic happens, right here. Right here is where the magic happens. So I know Wednesday nights is a lot of competition. It's a busy night. But this is the place to be. We got Clint Hilinski, and he's got a wonderful, wonderful campaign. Hugely successful, Maidens of Mayhem. And he's going to be closing that bad boy down. So we're going to see if we can get some people interested in this thing before it goes away forever. It's a great looking book, sexy, lots of action. You guys will see what we're talking about, I'm sure. With pride, Clint will show off his site, some artwork, things like that, and we also have Todd Maroone. So Maroone's fired up. He's fired up, man. So we're gonna put the spotlight on him right off the bat. So let me, without further ado, let's get the guys in here. We got Mr. Clint Hilinski, the man of the hour. Yes.
What's up, Art? Good to see you. Happy Wednesday to all. The pontification going on. Getting the chat fired up here a little bit. But yeah, great Wednesday. Great Pontificator show. Yeah, it's the closeout, ultimate close. Well, absolute. Apparently this week everything is absolute. So this is the absolute closeout for Maidens of Mayhem. But another fantastic campaign for me. I can't say enough. You are the best, Art and Hale. What up, Sean? Awesome, man. But
just know, Sean, whenever you say something nice about us or anybody else, we'll highlight it.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. That's how that works. Absolutely.
Or a super chat. Money works too. Yeah.
But yeah, another successful campaign that I couldn't be happier about. Crowdfunding has kind of changed my life, and we can talk about that a little later in the show. But yeah, it absolutely has made a huge difference in my comic book career.
Yeah, I wanted to get Todd Maroone in here before.
Absolutely,
because he gets bored quickly.
We don't want to lose Todd.
You and I mean, it's been a week, and then we just talk forever playing catch up. Go ahead.
I didn't get any. I got intro less, like Sans intro. You didn't even.
I was gonna say Todd Mulrooney Jr.
Just brought me in like blind. It's a blind opening. We're gonna bring Todd in. He's not anybody. You don't even know who he is, but it's this guy who's a little riled up.
Todd Mulrooney, one of the greatest sketch card artists in the industry today. His sketch cards are sought after. Find him on Facebook. Find him on Twitter. He has amazing artwork that he is doing. Sketch cards are one of the most collectible things in the industry today, and Todd is doing some of the most amazing work of his career. So you do not want to miss out on these things. Sketch cards are I remember 10 years ago, people were chasing me after sketch cards. I couldn't do them. It was too much work. Todd is crushing sketch cards.
Yeah, you are crushing it. But just know, Todd, Clint was talking over you. So are you going to do what you said you were going to do earlier?
Well, I wanted to say you got a little sun. Your skin's looking good. With a little bit of dye, you might look like you're 40.
Yeah, Art's living that Texas life.
I thought you would
look a little.
I thought you were going to make hair like with a little orange. You could.
No. Art out by the
you
pool,
look great.
A little Grecian formula. He's looking 42 and living the good life.
Yeah, living the good life. Yeah, it's beautiful here. It is beautiful here in the Woodlands, Texas. So I am loving it. But yeah, Clint, that book looks fantastic, and so we're gonna party as much as we can, and we're gonna close out this bad boy. So you guys get ready, because we're gonna show some cool artwork. We're gonna show the site off, and Todd, you know, brother, I have so much respect for you. You're so talented, and those cards are freaking amazing. We got to get you on a book again. I know that you've been teasing some stuff, but we got to get you drawing sequentials.
Oh yeah, I actually there's some sets I was gonna do, and I'm gonna send the cards back. I'm not gonna do because we got a book that we're working on that we got it right where we want it. It is gonna be fantastic. So
Cool.
I got that like excitement to like start doing that.
Nice.
What is it? What'd you say?
I said nice. I'm excited.
Oh,
and like
I can't wait.
I don't know why you haven't been on the book.
Well,
all I know is Todd was the original artist on Florida Man, and that iconic. I know there was the iconic visual for that series is that guy on that alligator jumping that Ferrari or whatever it is. And if you guys, I know you might not know Todd Maroone, but you know that image. You know how strong that image was, and that's Todd. Yeah, when I saw that, Todd, I was like, this guy's good. This guy gets it. Yeah. So how's that? Am I back in good graces?
That's very nice. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. That is a milestone,
Yeah. Like, are you looking for a writer, creator kind of to work with?
I have a writer.
Okay.
We're working on our own things, our own IPs.
Yep.
Outside of that, I do those, that's those cards are kind of like a side hustle, you'd say.
Sure.
But if anybody wants me to do something, a cover or whatever, or help out their campaign, I tried to offer Aaron Lopresti 4 PSC, like 4 cards of his own characters for I think it was a Rocketeer. I was like, I'll trade you 4 PSCs of whatever you want on them to help your campaign for that Rocketeer, and you never really.
But what I'll tell you right there is when you're running the campaign yourself, you're juggling so much stuff already,
right?
Where even if somebody comes in and offers you like they're interested, they're excited about the campaign, it's almost more work for you because then it's another thing you're juggling, and you haven't worked with this person before. And you're just trying to focus on getting all your own stuff done. Whereas like you might have the best of intentions to like, oh yeah, like I want to do some artwork. I love your idea. I love your concept. I want to be part of it. But for the person doing the campaign, it's almost you're adding to their workload. And at that point, it's almost too much for them. That's just coming from the perspective.
No, I get it. I'm just trying to say that I'll help out my brothers in arms.
Oh yeah,
anytime.
No, absolutely.
Like I owe some cards to Pixel Trader, and I just haven't gotten to them, but I can now. I've really cleared the deck.
Is that you, Art?
Yeah.
Wow. Who found those?
Last night on the professionals, we went back in time and showed off some of our early artwork, like I guess our first published job. And so before we did that, Billy was saying, let's get a picture of each one of you before, like about the age you were when you drew that book. And so the Teen Titans Spotlight, the Aquaman Spotlight, this is about what I looked like and about the age I was when I drew that. So that was, I think, 86 or 87.
I couldn't tell that you were into Kiss or Peter Criss at all.
Yeah, the haircut, yeah. But look at me. I think that's my first drawing board right there.
Lean and mean.
Yeah, I was skinny as a freaking rail. You can see my back brace. Can you see, like in this first shot, because I had scoliosis surgery, you can see and the back, the way it comes out right there. Okay. That's a back brace I got on there.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So I had some serious back problems, but yeah, that's
did all that work that they did early on there with the back brace and everything that helped you out later on in life?
It kept me alive. They said I would have been dead by the age of 30.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah,
because
what happens is like there's a superficial S curve.
Yeah.
bad, for scoliosis. And those are the guys that you still see them, man. It's sad. They're all hunched over and stuff on the side. But mine was they call it a corkscrew.
Oh.
So I had the S, but it went inside as well. So my spine actually was like spiraling inside my body. So, which meant that it was pancaking my internal organs.
Oh, jeez.
So it was pushing everything against my rib cage.
Yeah.
So what would have happened is it would eventually have just choked me out. You know what I mean? My inside organs would have just shut down. And so, it straightened it out. It made sure that it wouldn't move anymore. And so it saved my life. So yeah.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. No, I haven't. I had a niece who had scoliosis.
And this wasn't caught until you were
older. Yeah.
This wasn't caught until you were in your 20s.
Yeah, that's the horrible thing. Is what happened is a year before that I was hit by a motorcycle. And so I was in the hospital for like a month. I was messed up, right?
Oh, wow.
And so they do x-rays, head to toe, all this stuff. And so they found the scoliosis at that point. But they never told me. They told my parents because I'm still under my parents' care, insurance and all that stuff. And my parents didn't tell me either. So I get healthy again. I resume a normal day, a normal life. And then, I'm bagging groceries at the supermarket. And this woman comes up and she goes, here's a card. I work for a guy. He's a back specialist. He, scoliosis. And then she goes, I go, what? I don't have scoliosis. She goes, yeah, you do. Like you could see it. It was that bad. You could.
Oh my goodness.
You could see it. Like she saw it. And then I went home. I went, Mom, do I have scoliosis? And she goes, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I started looking into, different doctors and stuff like that. And I'll tell you right now, if I could give anybody advice, moving forward on any kind of health problems, any kind of doctors, always get a second, third opinion. Because the first doctor I went to, he said, there's nothing I can do. You're too old, but we can, as you get hunched over, we can take ribs, we can remove ribs. Because my rib cage was touching my hip bone.
Oh God!
Yeah. So he said we can keep taking ribs and we can shave down your hip, but eventually, you'll still die. And I was like,
"Oh my God, Robert!
That doesn't sound like a good option here." No. So I left.
So that was the doctor that had gotten a C, just so you know.
Yeah.
He got a C, and then you eventually got to the guy who got an A.
Right. But this is my point. My point is, if I would have said yes to this guy,
oh yeah,
he would have did it.
You would have, yeah.
He would have done it. I'd be dead right now, and that would be it, right?
And you'd have been like, it would have been torture. You're shaving your ribs and your hip bone down so that they don't touch.
Yeah, every couple years I'd have to have some kind of surgery, and then I would, practically not have a rib cage anymore, and I'd be hunched over like some of these poor people you see at the DMV. It breaks my heart,
Yeah.
But anyway, I just an aside. When I saw that picture, I was like, oh my gosh, you can see the little. I think it's the last brace I was in before I didn't have to wear a brace anymore.
Apparently, you found a doctor that had a qualifying medical degree.
Yeah. And then there was another doctor who was saying equally crazy shit.
Oh,
and so then
goodness.
I saw this one guy, and he was like, "There's no need for that. I have this way of working." So they put it. They call it a Harrington rod, and there's like two rods. And like the old school jack where it had like the little lever thing that would catch, and then you just kind of crank it, and then it would just kind of jack up your car. That's what it is. It's exactly that. So there's like this ratcheted like pole, and then it has like these little things on it, and so they just ratchet your spine as far as
and it's go. I think it's become even more sophisticated through the years. Like I said, my niece had scoliosis, and she had the whole back brace, but they caught her at like 12, 13, 14, and it's like what you're saying, the ratcheting and the straightening kind of thing.
And then they fused my spine. So then they fused the spine. But the reason mine was really extreme is also like your knees, when you're young and your bones are still pliable, they can practically straighten you out 100%, right?
Oh, sure.
Like because there's still mobility there, but like once you're 20 or older, it's like your bones are hard and everything, and it's really hard to move things around. But anyway,
this is what we always do.
Yeah, but I thought it was funny. Like last night, we did those photos of us about the age we were when we drew the comic, and it was a lot of fun. The bros are a lot of fun. And whoa, who's this guy? Who's this guy?
I'm here.
Oh, wow.
Just for Clint. Nobody
else. Oh, Rob.
Nobody else. That's the only reason I'm here.
I appreciate it, Rob. I heard somebody had a fun day.
I did have a fun day because of my wife.
Oh, that's
out from here.
Nothing wrong with that.
So where'd you guys go? What'd you do?
We live in St. Petersburg, so Busch Gardens in Tampa. So
nice.
It's amusement parks. They have a couple new roller coasters, so we made sure to hit the roller coasters. We love the roller coasters.
That sounds like
the cool thing about that is it's Anheuser-Busch, right? So you can drink beer all day. No,
you can drink beer, but it's Busch sold Busch Gardens years ago.
But that's why it's called Busch Gardens, right? Anheuser-Busch, right?
Okay. But when the new companies, the other companies bought it, obviously they're buying the name too because they don't want to change the name because people already know what Busch Gardens is. Oh, yeah. So they buy the brand, they buy that name also. But I think in 2004, that first financial bubble, or 2008 maybe.
Oh yeah,
around there
bubble.
Yeah, Busch got nervous and sold because all of a sudden nobody was going to Busch Gardens.
Yeah, there's a lot of nervous Nellies out there, and it's happening all over again now with the economy the way it is. Like, there's people just looking to sell if they possibly can. Was there any cotton candy? Was there any
Dippin' Dots?
Good snacks at the?
My wife loves Dippin' Dots as we leave.
Oh,
because,
Dippin' Dots.
You're hot and tired, so she hit the Dippin' Dots as we left.
Nice.
I watched a kid who couldn't have been more than a year and a half years old with a giant clump of cotton candy the size of his head, just eating it like a caveman, walking around like he's drunk, just eating it and looking. He'd have like cotton candy stuck to his chin. He'd have this look on his face. His mother has a
He'll puke it all over the car on the ride home, but it was worth every second of it.
The mom's like 30 feet away. The kid's just like,
mouthing it.
Yeah.
I had a job where I made that. Like I worked the cotton candy concession, and it's a giant like
the spinning,
and then it's got like air, and you pour the sugar in the middle, and it just kind of whips these like strips out, and then you have that little cone, and you just kind of like roll it on the inside of that thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you, by the end of the day, you're covered. Like your arms are covered.
Oh God, I'm sure.
That sounds like it's
smell of like burning sugar. Oh,
it's a thorough shower every night after work.
Yeah, the good thing is it kind of melts when it gets wet, but sometimes it makes it worse.
Working in an amusement park, it's an experience. I drew caricatures at Valley Fair in Minneapolis.
Of course you did.
Yeah, of course I did. But it was a great experience because I was probably like 17 or 18. And it's like you got the pressure on you because you've got all the people stacked up behind you and like, oh, that doesn't look like them, or you're hearing people talk in your ears. And then I never used what is the little sprayer thing? I can't even remember the name.
Oh, the little airbrush.
Yeah, airbrush thing. I never used an airbrush in my life, but the guy taught me in like 2 or 3 days. It's like, this is how you do it. So like the first 2 weeks I drew people, everybody was just sunburnt and radiation burned, and it's like why is everybody sunburned? It looked like them, but they looked like they were in the microwave for 3 hours.
When my daughter was young, every time I saw one of those caricature artists, I always, because I know how hard they work, right? And so I always had to give him money, and then I would tip him really well because those guys work their ass off. Also, you're out in the heat. They give you one umbrella that straps to your drawing board, right? But then, then the sun moves, and then all of a sudden it's like sun just baking you. Yeah, it's horrible.
Well, and it's like what they don't tell you is, and this is what it was great for. It was like the amusement park opens at like 7 or 8 a.m. and then it closes at like 10 or 10:30. There's no shift work when it comes to drawing characters. You're showing up there at 7:30 in the morning. You have your breakfast where all the employees have their breakfast. Then you draw all freaking day. You get a dinner break, and then you draw till 10:30 at night, and you get everybody in that you can, because whatever percentage of that money is going into your pocket. Like this was my college tuition. Like I don't need Biden's student loan forgiveness because I paid off my college tuition drawing characters and busting my ass all summer. But like that's what it was. It was like you earned your money. There was no slack in there.
Was it so you kept a piece of every drawing then, right?
Yep.
You got a commission for every drawing.
There's a guy up here, and I think a lot of comic book guys know him from the Midwest. Scott. I'm gonna forget his name now. But there's a lot. He had a lot of comic book buddies, but you know what he did? He did the Married with Children comic for. Oh, I can't remember. It was a Comic Co. It was one of those early 90s indies.
Now Comics.
Now Comics.
Yeah.
Now Comics. He did the Married with Children comic for them. He drew that comic because he did all the characters of all the family. And like I was so stoked because he knew a little bit about the comic book industry. So I was trying to get every little bit of information that I could out of him in 1991. So
my wife has paid for 2 caricatures over the years. I always tell her, don't do it. You're not going to like it. I always tell her this is what they're going to accentuate because that's what they're doing. Is they're going to just pick up a couple of things like your hair or your nose or whatever. And then they're going to slap it into the standard caricature that they do. And you're not going to like it. She never likes it.
Nah.
I always tell her, I go, you're not going to like it. You want a cartoon version of yourself. You don't want a
They are fun, but you've got to understand that they're going to like, they're going to like. And the thing was, this is probably why I was not a good caricature artist. Critically, is I tried to draw them like they looked instead of accentuating, like doing a real character. And that's Tom was his name. Tom would always tell me, he's like, you got to pick a thing and then tweak it and like make it way over the top. And I always tried to draw realistically and then just accentuate something slightly. So.
Mm-hmm. There's been a lot of big talent. Like I know that Steven Silver, the guy that designs, like he did the design work for Clerks, the animated. He did Kim Possible, Danny Phantom. He does all kinds of stuff. He was a caricature artist, and he said it's great training. So he still like goes to coffee shops with a sketch pad and just does drawings of just everyday people. He says it's great. It's great training. And then there's this guy I worked with on Chrono Mechanics. Oh my gosh, Chris Chua, and he draws like abstract. They're not like your normal caricatures. They're like as if I don't know, Pablo Picasso was to do them. They're freaking brilliant because I mean, you remember like when you're in school, they go, okay, you need to express yourself with one line. Like those different exercises, you need to tell this posture with 3 lines or what, like those different type of exercises. He does those. Like he'll just take like one line, boom, 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 and then there's the profile, and then he'll just kind of add to it. And it's very, very simplistic, but it's abstract art, but you always know who it is because what he does is like, I don't know. I mean, I haven't talked to him in years, but he would, with social media, he would put up the person that he was drawing, like a photograph he'd take, and then he put his drawing right next to it, and you go, holy shit. Like you would think like this was totally out there. You'd think this isn't based on anybody, right? But then you see that person, and then you see this abstract piece of artwork and go, he freaking nailed it. That's that person. But there's nothing like realistic about it. There's nothing that you could really, you know what I mean? Like it's really
practice. It's so much practice and experience for him to do that.
And there's also people that have just a knack for capturing a face in a few lines. Where I never had that knack. Like I always tried to draw people all the way through, but there are people that like can just capture the eye line, the nose line, the chin line, and then throw those lines down, and you got it. So it's a real skill.
My humor teacher at the Cuber school, he did that when he was a kid, and I think he still did it even when he was at the Cuber school teaching. The worst thing you can do is give someone who is really good at doing that, and then they teach kids for a year. So he knows he's not just looking at your face and doing a caricature. He knows if you're an asshole.
Yeah.
He knows if you're selfish. He knows if you're a glutton. Yeah. And he drew a couple of the students, and you're just like he goes, anybody else? Like we're like, no, we don't. Nobody was raising their hands because we're like,
and no, character artists get good at that. They figure out like character artists can figure out a person's personality in a couple of minutes while they're drawing, and it's real obvious. Like it's a weird thing, but like I wouldn't give that up. The couple of years that I did it for anything, it was an awesome experience.
I bet
you guys see this?
Great training.
Yeah, like those weird things where they throw the whole chin and the teeth out. I could never do those ones.
But you look at it and you go, that is the dude. That's the link. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's like really out there shit. Look at
and
this.
They would get the interpersonal, like between the couple, like the overpowering personality. They would have the face come way over the top of the other person because they would already figure that out. The interpersonal dynamics between the two people.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I watched it, and that was the other thing. It was like I had artists. We had like 5 or 6 people in the booth doing it, and they were artists from all over. They were like painters and wanted to be in comics like me, or cartoonists, or just whatever. And you saw like a lot of different takes on what it took to do it. Yeah, these are. Yeah.
This is so good, man.
Yeah, no, like that guy is way better than me. I could never exaggerate that for her.
And that's how you get to do it fast when you can exaggerate like that.
Yeah.
He doesn't do any drugs or anything. Look at this guy with the beanie throwing up the peace sign. Look at the linear line art right here. Let me see if I can, like right in this corner in the lower right. Like that's what it looked like before the color. Like who thinks like that?
That is wild. Yeah, no, that is absolutely wild.
That's someone who's playing, and then he pulls it all together. He's playing, and then he pulls it all together. Then he saves it.
You know, it's very stylized. It reminds me of like, the guy who created Ren and Stimpy and that kind of thing.
Very much in that aspect of it.
This guy could have, if he had channeled it into like one look of a bunch of characters that sort of fit together, he could have created a cartoon easily.
Oh, especially in that time frame, like that's what was popular, was the really out there stylized characters.
Right.
Oh, it still is, because the more effed up the drawing, the easier it is to animate. So there's all those low budget Adult Swim type cartoons.
Oh yeah, you're right. And that was the thing I had the hardest problem with, is like I always like to draw realistic.
Mm-hmm.
So like I felt bad if I didn't draw a character that looked like the person I was drawing.
Yeah, or it doesn't flatter them. Like you always want to flatter them, right?
Yeah.
This shit's not flattering anybody. This is just capturing their personality.
Like when they jam both faces just wedged against each other in the whole drawing. Like that, yeah, that one right there in the middle is pretty impressive.
Look at she's petting his eye.
It reminds you a little bit of Ed, and Eddie.
Yes.
You know,
I had pitched some animation with this guy when I had an agent. And so we put a couple different pitches together, different shows together. And Chris is great to work with. We did a Chrono Mechanics issue together. And the Chrono issue was, let me stop sharing, come back. There was a janitor and he was working at Chrono Incorporated, right? And there was like the reality chamber or whatever. So it was space, time, and reality. So, this guy's cleaning up the chamber, and then there's a tube of paint, and it's open, and he steps on it, he slips, and he falls in the chamber, right? And before you know it, reality is changing, and the reality is starting to look like a Picasso painting, right? So then everything, like we go from reality, we go from my drawing into Chris's world, right? So you can just imagine what this thing looked like, right? So then. Wow. Then the Chrono Mechanics are trying to like fix things, right? And then what you realize at the end, spoiler alert, is that guy that slipped on the paint was Picasso. He was moonlighting before he was discovered. So it actually was Picasso. And the funny thing is, like at the end, the Chrono Mechanics is just this big mess, and they go, "We don't care who you are, clean up this mess." And they just hand him a mop and tell him to clean up the mess. Yeah.
Hey, so, do you know if Chris Pacello ever did caricatures or animation? Because he has a real, like, he knows where to break a lot of rules. He keeps that comic book style, but he knows where to really accentuate stuff in an almost animated type of way.
His stuff started from Vertigo. Like, he was a Vertigo artist. And then he like tried to open himself up to doing that mainstream, like kind of X-Men stuff when they brought Botchlo over on what is it, New Mutants or something. And he changed
Generation X and then Uncanny,
to fit it because he knew that the money was there.
Yeah,
and it worked. What he did worked. It kind of created this new style. It was like not quite Humberto Ramos. It wasn't quite what those guys were doing. It was more indie, but he kind of
with his original inker, right? His original inker on Gen X.
Gen X. That was
Gen X.
The thing that they had the big run on.
That because that was very different. And then it was more Arthur Adams and Michael Golden when he got the Uncanny, I'd say.
I don't know.
Remember he would draw Wolverine with gigantic arms? I remember there's this issue where Wolverine has gigantic arms, so does Nick Fury, but they look so cool.
Yeah,
but I can't believe the editor let him do it.
Yeah, his style lent itself to a lot of extreme, like you can get away with stuff just the way he drew. But his original stuff was like Vertigo, and it was like so different than mainstream comics. Like, I remember, like, and I mean, this was early 90s. I remember hearing stories or whatever, reading online of how hard they were having. They were trying to transition them over to mainstream comics somehow. And it was just so, it was like one of those things where, like, an editor, like, I love your stuff. I'm the editor on X-Men. I'm going to put you on an X-Men book, kind of.
Yeah.
I don't care if you fit or not. We're just going to kind of. It was like, editors like that were like, I like your stuff. We're going to make it work kind of thing.
Well, Bob Harris, before he hired Joey Mad, he was trying to get a hold of Macello, Mazyck, the guy
from Batman Year One.
Yeah. So if he had hired him, Uncanny X-Men and all those books, that would have been a completely different run.
It would have been a very different vibe, but that would have been really
like he didn't want to compete with Image. Like, let's not even have the X-Men compete with Image. We'll just say, well, it's the X book, so if I change the art style, all the X, everyone will follow this because of the X franchise.
That hurts my soul a little bit because I love Joe Madeire's art.
I know,
but it was very soft on story. It was very big on pinups. Mm-hmm. It was very there wasn't cool a lot of depth to the story.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Mazzucchello coming off of Daredevil Year One?
Oh, you guys are talking about David Mazzucchelli. You're talking about Mazzucchelli.
Yeah.
Mazzucchelli. Okay.
Yep. From Daredevil Year One with Frank Miller.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about now. Yeah. That would have worked.
Come over and do an X-Men story with a good writer.
I don't think it would have worked. That guy's too grounded. I think I don't think it would have worked for an X book. You need somebody that's out there. You need something stylistic, something bombastic, and I don't think David Mazzucchelli's work. And if you want to see it, David Mazzucchelli did in the Epic line. There is an Angel story that he.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
well, he didn't call Bob back. So.
No. Well, I think his stuff is too grounded in reality.
Yeah, right? He's very grounded.
There is a guy who works now. His name Jorge Fores, and his style is very reminiscent of that book.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And he's jumped around. Like started in Batman. That's when I first saw him. But he's jumped around, and you'd be surprised that, how guys like him and Greg Smallwood and stuff like that, they can pull it off. That Human Target is absolutely amazing.
They're very dependent on a writer that gives them the right material.
Yeah.
Because their artwork isn't going to blow anybody away. But if you give them the right writer that just is writing the stuff of their life, they can pull it off because they're very subtle artists. They're not. It's not the big splash pinups. It's not the big explosions. They're almost more of a cinematic artist, where a lot of these writers want to write to break into movies or whatever. They want to write dialogue. They want to write subtle scenes. That's the Mazzucchelli kind of art. Everything's subtle. It's below the level. It's not explosions. It's not, and that's where X-Men probably wouldn't be a good fit for them.
But you can tell the books where the writer wrote the script 6 months ago and they just had to get an artist.
Yeah.
Then you had the writer who goes, oh wait, who's drawing this?
Yeah.
And then they write to their strength.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's it, because I worked on lots of scripts where the writer wrote it months and months and months ago.
Yeah.
And they just anybody.
Let me read this. Marcus Killigrew, Bocello is cool, but it's hard to read his stories. His storytelling is a jumble. And I'll tell you, I've inked him a lot. And the thing is, he puts halos around things.
Yeah.
Unnecessarily. And there's one thing that an inker uses to establish depth is line weight. And so if you have a halo, you're decimating line weight, right? So line weight, you have a thick and a thin intersect, right? Things like that builds dynamics and establishes plane. Well, if you have a halo around everything, line weights are almost a moot point because the halo is going to be there. It's a stylistic thing, but it isn't good for readability.
No.
And it isn't good for establishing depth. So what I did when Tim Townsend would ink him, he did all the halos. He added halos, right? But when I would ink him, I would eliminate them, as many as I could, to keep the look that he was going for. But I eliminated a lot of them because it was inhibiting the storytelling. It was inhibiting the clarity. It was working against itself. And so that's one of the things that I feel like I brought to Chris. Also, there's a lot of cross-hatching and things like that I was doing that nobody else was doing. And then this is when I stopped doing all that stuff. And you'll love this, Rob, is when a penciler starts incorporating things that you established as an inker into their pencils. And then the next inker just starts inking it, you know, and it's like it was always Chris's, but it never really was. A lot of people bringing different stuff to it. And so it's a really thankless job. But Chris was a lot of fun. He was a lot of fun to work with. He didn't live too far from the house. And so, you know, him and his wife and Pamela and I, we hung out socially, things like that. And,
that is more fun.
Yeah, he's a good guy, and he would have these after, I think, San Diego Comic-Con parties, stuff like that. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, he's a good guy, and we did that Witching Hour together for DC. And
I remember Witching Hour, yeah.
And he sucked me into that as a friend. He's like, all right, you do this, because I got paid shit. Like those Vertigo books, they don't pay anything.
Because the sales are terrible on them.
I worked on that thing, and then he's going, and I got this book, this Cliffhanger book called Steampunk that I'm going to do. And then he goes, what would you want as a page rate? I go, $500. He goes, well, we'll see. Right. So I did promo work, and I got paid that money. And so then, you know, I'm the inker on Cliffhanger, you know, on this steampunk book. And then the numbers came in.
No.
So Chris didn't call. We were no longer friends, you know, like that type of friend anymore, you know, because this was the bad news. So Scott Dunbeer calls me, and he goes, how'd you feel about working for this page rate? And I was like, no. And then he goes, well, that's the page rate. I said, Chris told you to do this, right? He goes, well, I can't say. I go, Chris told you to do this. I said, Chris and I had an agreement. I was going to take a loss to help him out on this Witching Hour, and then he was going to make it up to me on this Cliffhanger book. And he goes, I don't know anything about that. So dude. I call him Chris, and I say, what's going on? And he's like, hey man, the numbers are bad, blah, blah, blah. And I go, did you take a cut? And he didn't answer me. And I said, it's in your power to give me more money, right? And then finally he said yes. And I said, but you're not going to, right? And then he's like, yes. And I was like, okay, I'm not doing the book.
And then I got a phone call.
Yeah,
for a third of what Art was doing.
Where's Rob Hunter? He'll do it.
No, actually, it was what was it? Richard Fred.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now I was the go-to guy when Tim Townsend couldn't. He didn't have time to do all the Uncanny X-Men pages. So.
Are we exchanging slavery stories?
Dirty deals done wrong.
Yeah,
it may as well have been a slavery story. They tried to sell slavery. But you know what? Before we go any further, Clint, get your campaign, man. We gotta show some love to these maidens, these lovely Maidens of Mayhem.
We've already had some new backers just since we started up the show. But yeah, I kind of you can leave it to me. I'll get sidetracked and not even talk about the book.
Yeah. Okay, Marcus Killigrew knows the Angel story. It was printed in Marvel Fanfare, not Epic. Okay.
Oh, sure.
Oh yeah, remember Fanfare?
That was a great book.
It was.
Some of it was really cool.
So yeah, we started out at. I think we were a couple $100 already. We're at like
nice
28 something. So we're like 1,500 away from a little over 1,500 away from hitting 30K, which is just one of those big numbers. 30K is a great number to hit. So that's what I'm shooting for. Getting 300 backers here tonight, or at least 300 backers here tonight. We're at 292 right now. But 60 pages, adult entertainment. This book will contain nudity. It's going to feature 3 big stories: Blue Bombshell, Pirate Queens, Sword Maidens. So you're going to get superheroes. You're going to get a sci-fi adventure. You're going to get a swords and sorcery adventure. And this book is completely finished. The art book is completely finished. Everything's done. Everything's going to the printer on Friday. So if you back this book tonight, you're gonna get it in probably about a month. Like that's like I'm gonna send to the printer on Friday. It takes about 2 weeks from the printer. I'm gonna start shipping books out. So middle of May, end of May, that's when the books are gonna be going out. But yeah, this book is ready to go. I'm launching my next book, Pirate Queens, on Friday. Pirate Queen Book 3. What? So there's no delay in the process. This is the closest I've done a closeout and a launch to each other. This is a little bit of an experiment. I'm not sure how it's going to go. I hope it doesn't hurt the Pirate Queens launch, but that's just, I want to get these books out. I want to keep moving everything along. And I'm a machine. I'm like, there's no slowdown. Yeah. There's no quit. This is my 9th
campaign.
Pirate Queen Book 3 will be my 9th book on Indiegogo since 2019.
Wow.
So that tells you that's 5 years, 9 books. Maidens of Mayhem is coming out 2 months early. I think the due date for it was June. I'm going to be, a month early. I'm going to be shipping it in May. The due date for it was June. I'm going to be shipping it in May. So, like my books come out. They come out regularly. They come out on time, and they
come out hard.
Yep.
Yeah, real hard.
Yep. Yeah. So I just keep pushing the envelope. I want a big launch for Pirate Queen versus Slave Girl on Friday. So you guys are seeing this. Back that book on Friday. And if you guys haven't backed Maidens of Mayhem yet, back it tonight. This is the end. You're not going to be able to get this book again.
Hey, yo, Clint, I have a question. I don't know if you have this number, so this might be a curveball, but out of the 9 campaigns you've done so far on Indiegogo, do you have a nipple count?
A nipple count. There is. Yeah. There's a solid nipple count. Do we want to go? Want to go per page?
Yeah, per page.
I would say per page.
The numbers. These are the numbers that people need.
Yeah. Like per page depends on if it's a profile shot or if it's all straight on, because straight on you're going to get the even numbers. If there's a profile shot, you might get the odd numbers. But I would say I've got a solid 6 to 7 nipple count per page on most of my comics.
That's the
yeah. I think that's a safe bet right there.
How many pages? How many pages is
my smallest book is 48 pages. My biggest book is 60 pages. So the art books are usually 24-page books. But like if it's just a storybook, it's 48 to 60 . So
because I mean you should
get all the nips you can want on that.
You should turn this into a contest. Yeah.
You can handle.
Yeah, you should turn this into a contest. Like, guess the nipple count, and you'll get like a special cover.
There's a cover that I haven't shown you guys yet, and I'm gonna save it for Pirate Queen. I'll show it during Pirate Queen on the show. But how we've been talking about AI, so I drew a cover, hand drawn. Everything's by me, colored it, everything, and it's one of those harem. It's like a harem kind of cover, slave girl harem, lots of girls in there. And so I had my AI guy. I've got an AI guy now, and love this guy.
You have an AI guy?
Yeah, he's figuring shit. Like I don't know how to do an AI. Don't know anything about it. He said he's gonna teach me, but I'm like, just run this through the AI and see what it kind of does.
Yeah. But you know what? Not to mention that, I don't mind calling those people AI guys.
Yeah.
Not AI artists. Just you're an AI guy.
Exactly. I heard somebody say that they can't be artists. I mean, they're programmers. They're
they're prompters.
They're not artists. They're prompters.
This guy's awesome. He knows how to do it. I don't. And he's having fun and he's learning as he goes. And like me and him are having a blast.
Yeah.
But he'll like, I'll give him my artwork and I'll be like, let's see what it does.
Yeah.
There's some real neat results. So I'll show you guys some stuff in the future. Not tonight, but for
tease.
down the road, a little tease. So
all of a sudden, Clint's doing a book a month.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that is not like productivity is a thing, and
that is a horrible implication, Rob.
Well, it isn't if it's based off of stuff I drew.
Yeah,
is where I'm coming from. I'm not gonna just like generic like just crap out stuff. I want stuff that off of it's this weird slippery slope.
The thing is monthly stuff. Like there were times where I could slow down, and do like take my time on a project, and then there was time that I really needed to bang out a lot of stuff to make money because the industry isn't always the same. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can do one book and it'll pay you what 3 books would pay you. You know what I mean? And then sometimes you don't have that, or the industry isn't, doesn't have books like that. So then you end up having to do 3 books a month, to make that. And so the thing is, you just do what you have to do. But you, Clint, have the skill, you have the drive, and the thing is, you have the desire to do it right now. You know what I mean? And that's the main thing is like just having the desire.
Yeah.
Because
and then the thing is, I'm always going to draw my own stuff. Like I'm not just going to like just churn out crap to churn out crap. Like I'm always going to draw my own stuff. Like, hey,
no one said crap. Like that stuff when I was banging out stuff. It was good. It was good work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It wasn't like, I never said it was shit.
Yeah. I get a little defensive just because I hear people talking online or whatever.
Well, I just want to let you know it wasn't coming from me. I get it. You were like throwing the shit at yourself.
Yeah. No, I get it. It's just, you see people get real touchy about AI. I think used in the right way, AI is just another tool for an artist. If you're completely reliant on AI, you're not a real artist to begin with.
Yeah.
But you can use it, like I'm using it for like a little fun variant, like a little something different in the covers, and like to me, I think it's fun. If the fans don't like it, guess what? The fans don't buy it. Guess what? It's done. It's over. I'm doing what the fans are interested in, so that's kind of where I'm coming from.
Yeah, and the thing is the work is great, Clint. I mean, whether you could do, 1 book a year or 10 books a year, it doesn't matter. Because
I'd like to do 10 books a year.
We all would like to do 10 books a year.
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
It doesn't matter as far as like the quality, because like I would defy anybody to look at something that I've done that it took me 2 weeks to do versus something that took me 6 weeks to do. I think most people would have a very hard time telling the difference. And the quality level, a lot of times when you, that's why I was saying the drive and the desire, when you have those things, you can do an ungodly amount of work and without compromise. Like you can do stuff that's badass. And sometimes, like I find when there is a gun to my head and there is a deadline and I have to
work better.
I'll work better because I'll make that decision, that right decision, right off the bat, instead of, like sometimes when you have time, you're going, well, I'll try this, I'll try that, and stuff like that.
Time's the worst thing for an artist. A deadline is the best thing for an artist. If you're creative, it's like you need push to come to shove. You need to collect a check. You need to get your pages turned in, because how many times have we seen really good artists that all of a sudden they're getting paid this huge page rate, and all of a sudden they don't turn anything out. You don't see any art from that artist for like you'll see. Yeah, exactly. Travis is the first one that comes to mind, and it's like
who people would ask me. They go, okay, well, what if Mark Bagley had, instead of 3 weeks or a month to draw a book, if he had 6 weeks, 2 months? I go, it would look exactly the same.
Yeah,
because he'll draw it, sit down, he'll draw it, and then he'll take the rest of the time off if he could.
Right. Or like there are guys that are just that's what they do. That's the way it's going to look. So whether they took 2 weeks on it or 6 weeks on, it's still going to look the same.
But
sometimes time can equate quality, is what I'm trying to say.
But if you give Travis 6 to 8 months in his prime when he needs money, and then let him draw Wolverine or X-Men Wildcats or Wolverine Zealot.
I don't know. Art's still shaking his head.
You like that's one of the prettiest books, Art.
I don't know how long he ever took.
He's not motivated by that stuff. I've met some of these guys. They're not motivated by that.
Well, he wasn't motivated after it. That was the pinnacle of his career.
That was the be all end all. That was the.
He didn't do anything better after that.
Well, it's like Art Adams. Okay, I remember asking him. It's like because he's going. I can do a book a month, and then I was just like, well, why don't
you? Yes.
Instead of like a 3-issue miniseries or an annual. Yeah. He said because I don't have to. He said I'll do the annual, or I'll do the 3 books, and then I'll live off the artwork sales for the year.
Why don't you make more money? Why don't you do a year's worth of Spider-Man, Hulk, Ghost Rider, whatever Wolverine. Fantastic Four thing run that was?
Because not everybody's motivated. Not everybody's motivated the same way,
Comic artists are lazy.
Well, I remember working with Will Spertasio. Okay, so Will's was notorious. Like the first half of any of these books, if you guys were fans of at the time, there would be like multiple panels, things like that. About the midway to the end, you'd go from like 6 panels to 4 panels, from 4 panels to 2 panels.
Yeah. Panel close-ups.
End of the book was
big verticals.
With just splashes of people screaming and shit like that, right? And the thing is, I remember like we were pushing a deadline, and he drove. Like he lives in San Diego, I lived in the South Bay, so it's a little bit of a drive, but he would crash right, at my place, and so he would come by and we'd jam these books out, and so then I'm watching him work, and he's just flying, man. He's just fucking flying. And I'm like, you can work this fast? He goes, yeah. I go, why don't you? He goes, it comes too easy sometimes, and I get bored. And I'm like,
oh man.
I'd heard that from John Layman about Travis. Is like he gets bored with like that whole tank thing in Wildcats number 2, like Scott Lobdell didn't draw a tank into that book, but Travis had been like watching a movie and he got like real enthralled with the World War II shit. So all of a sudden he just drew a tank into the book, and it was just fucking gorgeous. But it was because he was bored with what the script was, and he just threw a tank in, so it'd be interesting for him to draw.
That Space Girl thing is the best thing for Travis. Like it's a stream of consciousness. He can throw whatever the heck he wants in there. He's not really beholden to anything. It's kind of like Mobius's airtight garage. It's just
totally
stream of consciousness kind of thing. And it's brilliant. It is absolutely brilliant. I love that.
He needs to put it out with a real publisher though, so we can get like a nice version of it, like high quality, high res prints. Has he done that yet, Art?
I got something somewhere around here. He put out these little books.
Okay.
Like San Diego Comic-Con sketchbook almost stuff.
Yeah. It was kind of like it was pretty unique. The book was shaped like a
because he does it lengthwise, like a cartoon almost, and then
like a comic strip, strip.
If he prints it and publishes it himself and sells it at like San Diego Comic-Con, he doesn't have to actually say how many copies he sold.
Yeah.
You go through a publisher and all of a sudden there's a check and the IRS is like, we know exactly how much you made last year.
Yeah, exactly.
But if he's selling stuff at San Diego Comic-Con from a pallet that he shipped to his hotel.
Giving away
there's probably a lot of that
to the IRS. I mean, what the hell?
Dude, DC was going to clamp down on that. The last couple of years I worked at DC, they sent out emails saying, here's the new thing. And here's the new policy when it comes to prints and sketchbooks and hardcovers, and they're trying to shut down you doing a sketchbook as a hardcover.
Sure.
Only a certain amount of prints that you can make per year, you know, like different prints, like a total of 10 different prints. You couldn't sell $50 hardcovers.
Good luck with that, because anybody who wants to break that rule can break it at every convention they want to.
I think so. Someone instituted it, didn't really think of how they would be able to push it, and the only way you'd be able to push it is if you threaten people with like
jobs,
their exclusive contracts and stuff like that. They were phasing exclusive contracts out at the same time, so they really had no leverage.
Yeah.
If you don't work for those companies, if you don't work for those companies, they have no leg to stand on. They can't do anything.
If you're just a name guy and you're not worried about working for Marvel or DC, you can do whatever you want.
Right. And I remember like what was it? When Marvel had the bankruptcy. Did you work there, Rob, when they had the bankruptcy?
Yeah, I was working out of the X office. So I was on XMen helping out with Steve Sprouse. So I would, 3 pages here. I'd get to do a fill-in issue there. Yeah. So I was getting lots of work because you guys all left.
Yeah, but
your guys' page rates got cut, so you all took the image, and I said, "Hey, I'm trying to ink like Art Teever and Tim Townsend." They're like, "Come on over, you cheap bastard."
But my point being, like Marvel went after people for if they overpaid on royalties or whatever it was, and so they started going after people.
They did
money, money. Okay,
because the judge said, if Marvel's paying royalties or even page rates from this date to this date, you can ask for your money back because they weren't supposed to pay anybody.
Well,
so they were picking and choosing who.
Well, regardless, I don't know why or what they were, but I do know. My point is that if you worked for the company and then they determined they wouldn't furnish any paperwork. But if they determined they overpaid you for something, then you didn't pay them out of your pocket. They just deducted it from your next paycheck.
No.
But the thing is, if you didn't work for them, they were fucked, right?
Yes.
Because they weren't really gonna sue you. They weren't gonna come at you for like $1,500 or $500. But if you worked for them, you were screwed. They just pull it right out of your paycheck, and that. God, I hate. They never did that to me, but they did that to other people, and I was.
Well, it's because you were on a book that they cared about.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I was on XMen, and Sprouse told me that because everyone else had huge contracts on all the X books, he said XMen was their most profitable book in the top 10. Because he just had a page rate. He didn't have a $40,000.
Oh, he didn't have the full contract. Yep.
He didn't have a contract like the Kubert brothers or Scott Lobdell or any of those.
All those guys.
The thing is, they made everybody that was freelance sign an agreement that they didn't have to pay you because of the bankruptcy. So if you did work for that month, they didn't have to pay you if they chose to for that work. So we were working under a contract that was fucked up, right? We worked every month hoping that they would pay us. And then on top of that, they came after those people for past, I guess, overpayments. And they wouldn't furnish any paperwork. So all you had was their word that they had.
It's so skeezy. Yeah.
It was the wild, wild west back then, because like the story I was talking about earlier, that was when like I showed my stuff to Rob and I got hired by Rob and I worked on Youngblood. But at that convention in Wizard World, this was when Rob was taking over Captain America. And Rob had bootleg copies of Captain America, selling them at the convention with Marvel's booth at the show. And he was selling everything. And it was like, there were no rules.
This sounds like a mafia story, man.
It was comics in the 90s. It's like you took and you grabbed what you could get.
Yeah, and if they thought they could get you, they would get you. Or if you didn't make enough, they just didn't give a shit. Like they didn't care what they were paying me $80 a page for inks on X stuff. They didn't give a shit.
Oh jeez.
They don't care. They didn't care.
No. God. I wasn't making much worse than you, and I was working for Avatar.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. My royalty checks were more than my page rate at that time.
Oh god.
I was hoping that would last forever. It lasted for another year.
Comics are crazy in the 90s.
I don't think things have changed that much. I think
no.
They're still effing people over. You know, they're still predatorial. You know, like it's weird. Like this industry just fights among like each other about like, oh well, you're a Trump supporter, you hate this or you hate that, so we can't be friends, whatever. I'll tell you, the enemies are still the same. The enemies are still the publishing companies. They haven't changed. Those are the predators. Those are the guys that are going to screw you over. Todd was talking about Joe Quesada interview with Mark Miller on Mark Miller's YouTube channel. And you talk about like a skeezy individual. What were you saying, Todd?
Here, I've got, let me pull it up.
Well, I finally listened to this interview just the other day, and it's funny you brought up Mark Bagley, and he talked glowingly about Mark Bagley. He said, I would have rather had like 10 of those guys, and I'm just paraphrasing, but he went into sort of everyone talking about the death of comics, and he was really hitting Ethan just directly, because he did preface it by saying these guys that used to work in comics and are on the outside a little bit, they're just saying that there's the death of comics is coming, and he said it's not, and the sales are great, which I don't know where he's getting his numbers, but he said sales are better than ever. There was an uptick during the pandemic, and sort of it's starting to trend down a little bit. And then he went on to the people talking about comics on a daily on YouTube. He said these dads with YouTube channels talking about the death of comics. And you know what? It was bullshit, because maybe they're not putting it right. I'm not a believer that comics are going to die. This is going to always be a sort of an adjustment. But what they were really saying, what people are really talking about, and what he's missing is you're making comics for an audience that doesn't exist. You're trying to pander to somebody to create nurture a fan base, but they're not into your comics. And there was somebody, it was David Williams, that said, I'm done with DC. And I remember all the people were coming at him, and he basically referenced an article, and that article was about current woke comics and sort of what do they call it, where you're nurturing kids into these certain beliefs. What do they call that?
Social engineering.
No.
Indoctrination?
Grooming.
Indoctrination?
Yeah.
Grooming.
It's all the same. Grooming, indoctrination.
And basically what I
really
said on there is, that crap is in the comics, and he was talking about Tom King and the crap he's writing in Wonder Woman and stuff. I said that crap is in there, but you're not grooming any kids because kids aren't reading your comics.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly.
So that idea is kind of a lame thing. But if he wants to write that progressive crap, that ideological bull crap, then let him, because it only is gonna, you're not creating absolute comics. So we'll trend into another subject matter. You're not creating absolute comics because your comics are doing well. You're creating absolute comics because you're trying to throw another thing at more spaghetti at the wall.
You're not telling
stories.
Your priority is not telling a good story, not being true to the history of these characters. None of that. Not anything to do with entertainment. It's about indoctrination. It's about the message. It's about these other things. And there is always, human nature hates to be preached to. They hate it, right? So entertainment, you learn this early on. Like when you're a kid, you watch something, you go, why did I like that? Oh, it's because they were preaching to me. It's like, oh, well, it's about Fern Gully and the rainforest. Like, who gives a shit? I want something to be. I don't want a message with the thing. And sometimes they can do stuff that succeeds that way, but it's usually when there's a stand-in for these things. It's not like head on, but now they're doing it head on. Like it's exactly what it's about. You know what I mean? It's about transgenderism, right. It's about unacceptance, and it's about these things. And that's the problem, is that it's not entertaining. And because I heard the Quesada interview too. All I did, and I don't care, Joe, you never stood up for me. You had plenty of opportunity to stand up for me in the past, and you didn't. So I feel bad for you. And the reason I feel bad for you is because what I'm doing right now is freedom.
Yeah.
I don't have to say anything I don't believe. And I know damn well, Joe, you're not saying things that you fully believe unless your soul is just completely vacant and you're filling it up with a bunch of this BS. But the thing is, you definitely are selling an agenda. You're not telling the truth. The industry isn't doing well right now. You are losing a lot of readers. The reason I know is because they're in the chat right now. These are people. They tell us this stuff. This isn't a lie. These people are there saying these things to us. So I feel bad for them now. I feel bad for the Joe Quesadas. I feel bad for those people because they are not free. They are still a corporate slave. Rob and I had to walk on eggshells most of our freaking career. And you know what? I'm done. I don't know if I can speak for Rob, but I'm done, man. Freedom, this is the place to be.
Joe's perspective is completely different than our perspective because we would get royalties if the book did well. Our pages would sell faster if the book did well. Joe and Jimmy, when they did Marvel Knights, they got I don't remember the exact number, but we'll just say they got a dime for every book that sold at Marvel Knights. So if Joe became editor-in-chief, which means he probably wanted something of the same deal. So for every book that sold at Marvel, we'll just say he got a nickel. So he doesn't care if he sells 500,000 copies a month with 50 titles or 500,000 copies a month with 5 titles. He gets a nickel for 500,000 for each copy at 500,000 copies. So from his perspective, they're doing great. Even though he knows they aren't doing great, his perspective, his check doesn't change. He doesn't get, hey, by the way, Joe, you here's your bonuses because the books are all selling, they're now selling 40 million copies. He would just make sure if he needs to sell 40 million copies a month, he'll just publish more shitty comic books. Or he'll do the variant crap where a comic book store has to order 300 copies of a shitty book just to get that special variant. And he gets a nickel for each book that's sold. They buy.
But
so
here's the shock value for them is the second they're not an editor that can dole out jobs, they're irrelevant. And that's everything that I saw in Quesada's interview and Mark Miller is him realizing he doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, it's true.
The second you can't hand out jobs to freelancers, nobody gives a shit about you. Nobody gives a shit about what you've done. You're not Stan Lee. You don't have some grand history. Like Quesada doesn't matter anymore.
He has his money. His money.
It's like, I hope you made as much money as you can because it's all the money you're going to make.
My roommate, when we were still at Cuber School, he said, because he met, he went to Valiant trying to get work. And we said, hey, what's Joe Quesada like? And he goes, this is what Joe Quesada is. He goes, why don't we take a look at his track record? He goes, Joe Quesada has never finished a book. He's never finished a run. He would do 3 issues of this. He'd do 3 issues of that. Someone would offer him a better project. He'd go do a better project. A company offers him more money and he goes and works for another company. He has no loyalty. He doesn't give a shit about anything. He's just trying to get out a better book and make more money on each thing that he would do. He wouldn't even care about finishing miniseries. So he goes, so that's who Joe Quesada is. We all think he's a great artist, but he doesn't care. When Marvel really started to take hits, what did he do? He went to Marvel Entertainment. He left. He's like, the real money is in the movies. The movies are rocking. Why would I want to try to sell shitty comic books? So,
yeah.
Yeah, he's just, he's more of a businessman than anything else. Where's the money?
He's not even a businessman. He was right guy in the right. Like, there's a lot of people that made a lot of money by being the right guy in the right place at the right time.
Yeah,
that's all Quesada ever was.
Yeah, he took Mignola and mixed it with Art Adams.
All the good Image guys took off, and Quesada was sitting there, and he was the last guy left behind by all the good Image guys that had a following, and Marvel had to do something, and so they went to Quesada. Like, Quesada, the only reason, and then Quesada was, I'll give him credit for this, Quesada was smart enough to hold on to it for as long as he could, but that's all he ever did.
Yeah, he was smart.
He never took over his editorial and became some hot artist on some book. Like, he never sold a book because of his art.
No, he did.
Well,
he did.
That's not true.
He did.
What books?
Ninjak was all because of him, and he also the Fireman book. Yeah, Ash was all because of him.
But Ash was in the prime of everything being hot in the 90s.
Well, not everything was hot because there were still shitty selling books. He was a hot artist. He was a hot artist. I mean, I'm a big fan of his work.
Joe played the game. Joe played the game. I thought that at first, Joe had a band with Jimmy, and they would entertain people. They were kind of like this cool, like Jimmy was the guy that would disarm you. He was the funny, charming guy, and then Joe was the business guy that would close the deal. You know what I mean? So those guys were like the double whammy, and they worked their way through the industry very, very well. And I saw it. I thought it was cool. I thought they had like this cool dog and pony. But the thing is, as soon as push came to shove, I mean, the one who has the stories to tell is Jimmy. Jimmy got pushed aside.
That's what I'm wondering.
He didn't want to be an editor in chief at Marvel.
Right? I don't know. I don't really know, because I remember I had a conversation.
That's what he says.
That's what he says now.
That's what I wonder. That's what I wonder.
He never said anything to me to be contrary to what you're saying, Rob.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I remember I had a conversation, and it was right after all this shit hit the fan, and I had no idea it hit the fan. And so then I said something about Joe and working with him or something like that. And I said, would you have a problem with that? He goes, I don't give a shit. He goes, do whatever you want, with Joe or something like that. But it was definitely, there was attitude. It wasn't what he was saying. It was this other thing. And so then I was like, and then I heard later, this whole Marvel Knights thing, Joe's, editor in chief or whatever of Marvel, and whatever the thing was. And so I was just putting two and two together, and I was like, I think maybe, Jimmy got the shaft, like somehow Jimmy got the short end of the stick, because I don't know why Jimmy would walk away from that. He would be the same position he was at Marvel Knights. You know what I mean? Like, I would imagine if it was just kind of a natural progression that he would just do the same thing at Marvel.
I think it's too much. He just sounded like he was, by the time Marvel Knights had run its course, he was done. Like, that was more than enough. Yeah, that was more than enough for Jimmy.
But I don't know why you would walk away from that, because also Jimmy did have plans on like movies and different things. It seems like if you would have kept, kind of like your wagon, your horse, attacked his wagon, you could have gone a little farther than trying to do it on your own. But I do admire that if he did indeed walk away from it, then he does have integrity. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't like, oh, this will be a cush Marvel job, and I'll be able to call the shots and do whatever. So who knows?
I mean, what's better than integrity though is making a whole bunch of money.
Yeah, it is. Just giant, like a pile, a pile so big that you can like sit in it or lay in it. Like
integral.
A pile of money so big that you can point down at the people and like, look at all you with your integrity.
Oh yeah.
Your integrity as you throw a solid stack of hundreds that have been It crushes them.
Where's your integrity now, bitch?
You're crushed under my integrity, which is just cash, just stacks of cash.
I would love for Marvel to come up to me. I know they won't, but and offer me a bunch of cash. I wouldn't take it. I wouldn't take it. I like freedom. I like freedom.
Or would you send them on?
Okay, Art, to your point right now. So to your point right now, I'm a freelancer. I'm drawing my own comics, and I did the math in my head. I talked to a friend of mine in the industry. He's working on big name books. He's got a $350 page rate with a big publisher.
Sweet.
Yep. With how I do my books, we make the same money in about 4 to 5 months. I am drawing a 48-page book. He is drawing a 4-issue miniseries. We make the same amount of money. We make about $30,000 off of. I make about $30,000 off of one of my Indiegogo books. That's what I've been averaging about. He's doing a 4-issue miniseries for a big publisher at $350 a page rate. He's drawing 4 22-page issues. I am drawing a 48-page book.
Yeah.
So I'm making more money than he is just by the amount of pages that I'm drawing.
Well, then he's not drawing that many titties. You have freedom, and you have an
I own the IP.
Yeah,
he also has the artwork he can sell, though. He also has
that's where he can get me. Is it's a known IP, so he can sell the artwork. That's where it might even it out a little bit.
Yeah,
but I mean.
But is he drawing enough titties, though?
Exactly. He's probably not drawing enough titties. And that's the thing is...
What's his nipple count?
And the thing is I could draw traditionally and sell covers and pinups, but just speed-wise, digitally makes more sense for me.
Yeah.
So I could make more money off original art. I just kind of choose not to because I'm lazy. But so,
okay.
But so that shows you what we're doing right here is every bit as competitive of what the big two are doing. Like I broke it down. I'm like, damn, he's not really doing better than me, and he's working on name books, getting a good page rate. And doing more work than I am, and I'm making as much money as him. So,
and also, you're not taking into account like the whole terror thing. Like the moment you say the wrong thing, you're dead.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like I'm not under any fear of getting fired off of my own comics. Where these guys, like, good God, if they post the wrong thing on social media, they're canceled automatically. And Maidens of Mayhem, right here. Yeah. Speaking of which, if you want to help me
wait, hold on. That's why I was saying freedom. Because they can't fire you. This is yours. You have freedom, and you own this outright. But I want to hit this refresh because you just got some backers here.
Oh, nice.
$293. You got a backer. You're at 28,540.
Awesome.
So you're what, like 459, something like that, away from 29,000. And we'll keep going. We'll keep going with this, you guys.
And the thing is Marvel and DC wouldn't touch this book with a 10-foot pole. They're so PC now. They're so SJW. If you want to see hot babes in exciting superhero action, Maidens of Mayhem is where it's at, and this is adult content, so there will be adult language, nudity, all the good stuff, and you're getting superheroes, you're getting sci-fi, you're getting swords and sorcery, ton of fun stuff. There's an art book, lots of extras, so like just check out the campaign, but like check it out tonight and back it tonight because this is it. I'm closing it down. This book's going to the printers on Friday. I'm going to be shipping it in a month. So like back this book now, and you're going to be getting it in about a month. So
Parker Luck is asking for the link.
Yeah, this is it. That's what Michael Jackson.
I'll drop it. It's in the description, but I'm copying it right now. Hold on, Parker. I'm coming, Parker. I'm coming. Usually Bob does it, but I'll
yeah, Bob.
All right, there you go. Parker.
Oh, there we go. Yep, right there. Click on the link.
Yeah.
Back it tonight. Tons of fun stuff. Great art. 60 pages. There's an art book you can get. There's trading cards. There's prints. There's a digital backup story. You can get the origin of Supercock. Or no, Thundercock. Thundercock.
Yeah, hey.
Thundercock. Yeah.
I already drew the origin of Thundercock. It's I'm pretty proud of myself. Pat myself on the back.
You should be.
Is there thunder in it?
Fun story. There's a lot of TNA in it. A little bit of humorous. But you want to get the origin of Thundercock, and then the digital origin of Super Tits. Oh. And I still like Super Tits is going to be an OnlyFans model. I got to do more research. I got to do more. I'm like, I've subscribed to one OnlyFans model, but like it didn't quite do it for me. So I'm thinking I need to subscribe to some more OnlyFans models.
Maybe that kind of reference, Clint. That kind of reference can take hours.
It can take a long time, Art. That's what I'm talking about.
There goes your profits. There goes your profits.
I don't want to deprive the subscribers and collectors of their story. So I have to do in-depth research, is what I'm saying.
There goes all your profits.
It's all as Eric said. It's all about research.
Your buddy's gonna top you now in profit. Freedom is gonna sell out again.
I need this book to make enough money for my OnlyFans subscription.
Your research.
Wow. Oh my god, that sounded so sad.
Don't judge me. Don't judge me.
I'm not judging you. God is.
Pedro.
Yeah, I'm not judging you. Jesus is judging you, not me.
Clint could use
Jesus has always been a friend of mine.
He has to prove it's research, though.
Yeah, I think it's just fun the way the internet works.
Oh, dude.
Do you have to pay those girls? You have to pay.
What's that?
For the fans only, can you just like check it out, or do you have to pay them?
To look at anything, I think you have to pay for it.
Yeah, I think any nudie stuff.
Yeah,
any orifice
premium.
Like literally, I checked out one site and she had like a $3 for 30 days thing, and it was one of the chicks that popped up on my Twitter. You can judge me, Pedro, but I'm talking about the girl. $3, but it was like all of the good stuff. Then it's like, oh, send me $40, send me $50 for this video, and I'm like. Like what I wanted to see was like how the layout of the screen, like the thing was, so I could replicate.
Right?
He was reading. He was just reading it.
Yeah, you want to see the UI, the UX. Yeah, it's for the article.
It's all research, guys.
Yeah, it's like when your friends go, I love the articles in the Playboy magazine.
But goddamn, these girls are posting on their Twitters and they're showing brand new houses that they bought.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like fucking $1 million houses.
Yes.
And it's like there are a lot of lonely guys in the world with credit cards in their pocket, is what it tells you. Yes. These girls are cleaning up.
Those guys used to buy comics. We lost.
Yeah,
we lost.
This is part of what's killing the comic book industry is OnlyFans girls just like plop your credit card in here and I'll pretend to be your girlfriend online, and it's like these girls are like making so much goddamn money. I don't think anybody realizes. Like it's insane.
Yeah, Rob's gonna open his fans only site tomorrow.
Who says I don't already have one?
No.
We got like a slew. I have a slew of them. Remember, we just had a conversation about the sex slave business, the slave business. We
covered a lot of
So
Rob, if you already have a fans only, it's not doing very well because you're slumming it on this show.
Maybe I like to pretend I'm a poor artist, wherein really I am a smut king.
The thing's like, I mean, being the poor artist is the fetish.
So this is my secret identity as a comic book artist, but in reality, I'm a smut king. So making millions a month.
Really, my job title, Rob.
Smut king.
His pen name is Miguelito. Yeah.
Clint, when does Smut King make it into a book?
Smut King, that's like a great supervillain name.
I know. Smut King.
And I'll draw him exactly like you because I can't do characters. I'll just I'll just do screenshots of your face.
Make sure you get the sad eyes. You gotta get the sad eye.
Yeah, the dead eyes.
Why is the Smut King always wearing glasses and a baseball cap?
The same baseball hat. Same shirts usually too.
With the sad.
All you're doing is giving me free material right now, Rob.
I know, you're welcome.
Well, it's a travesty. Let me read this. It's a travesty.
Okay.
In one of the largest transfers of wealth.
Oh God, yeah.
The least worthy. You're talking about fans only,
No, he's talking about the government.
Well,
these girls aren't even working hard for it. You at least like back in the good old days, like those strippers had to like rub all across your fat, sweaty body. But now, like they're just sitting on their internet like screens. It's like that's a bunch of bullshit.
Hold on, Clint. They're getting up early in the morning. They're getting professional. They either learn how to do their makeup professionally or they have someone doing it. Their hair is perfect. They're taking a million photos. They're all over Instagram. They're all over Facebook. So they do a ton of promotion.
No.
And then they sell their videos.
Rob is defending his girls now.
I have to.
Yeah. He's a Smut King.
Well, here's the question.
It's
Smut King versus Thundercock.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, no.
I would hope that Blue Bombshell or Super Tits would end up on top. I like to see the bounce.
Yeah.
If they end up on the bottom, then it's like their face is pushed into the mattress and you don't get the full effect.
This is two guys, right? So you got to get some like
you got to get the four-way going
between the two, right?
Super Tits and Blue Bombshell mixed in there.
Smut King will use his sadness to try to get Thunder Tits to come to his side for profit.
Distract her with her sadness. Yeah, just.
And then
and then no one talked to me in high school.
Yeah,
and then the cage comes down.
That sexy stripper that talks about her children.
No! Oh God, no! All I want to hear is about how she's putting herself through college in a nursing degree,
or doctor.
Yes,
let's not shoot low. Some of them say doctor.
Some of them. No. I've never had one.
And then they misspell text.
Nothing to go, that's hearing about strippers' kids.
Dr. Stripper. Yeah.
Sad puppy vision.
We're going down a dark alleyway in the comic industry.
Oh, you know it.
These are all ideas that will enter into the next issue of Maidens of Mayhem. There are going to be more of these books, right, Clint?
Yeah. No, absolutely. I like Slave Girl, Pirate Queen, Blue Bombshell, Sword Maidens. Like, this is Mayhem Comics. I've got, the Superiors. I plan on doing more stuff with Codename Killswitch. All the stuff. I've got probably 8 different projects that I've done on Indiegogo now, and I've got endless storylines for everything. The books that are bigger hits are obviously going to get pushed to the forefront. Blue Bombshell is a huge hit. Pirate Queen has always been massive for me. Slave Girl and Superiors did great. So, and I love doing straightforward superhero stuff. So Superiors is always going to be near to my heart. I've got a lot of stuff of that plotted out, but yeah, there's no end in sight. Like I just see this as a small press superhero sci-fi publishing company where I do a lot of it myself. I would love to get to the point where I can do books where I write them and do variant covers, but I hire artists to do the interiors and like kind of. I would love to do 3-4 books a year, but at that point, I'm going to have to hire other artists and I'm going to have to build bigger than I am right now.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
I know
those
a Brazilian
are the things I'm looking at that I want to do with the future.
What was that?
I know a Brazilian who's great drawing. I know a Brazilian who's great at drawing tits.
No,
so I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you his rates.
Yeah, so, and that's the thing is like if I can expand the problem with me, and that's where I'm gonna have to talk to like people like Critical Blast is like the shipping part of it to take that part of it off of my hands because I've done.
I can tell you how much he charges.
Yeah. I've done all the shipping myself, and I just got to make sure it works financially. Mm-hmm. But when I can expand, I'll have to take the shipping part of it off my hands so I can just focus on the creation of the books and getting the books out. So it's all about the success of the books. Each of these books, as they do better, it allows me to do more things. And I just want to keep building off of the success of the other books. Yep. Yeah, Mandy was huge with Pirate Queen. The first 2 books, Mandy wrote some great stories for that. And she got me out to a bigger audience. Mandy is great with social media and with her YouTube channel and what she's doing with Shane. They get a ton of attention for this stuff. So, yeah, I appreciate the hell out of what Mandy brought to the books and getting it out to a bigger audience. Those guys, like those big CG guys, John Malin, obviously Ethan, those guys have such a huge, massive audience. Like I just appreciate being kind of on the outer edge of that and bringing more comic book fans into seeing what I'm doing. So those guys are great.
The Fun My Comic guy, what's his name? I forgot his name.
Luke Stone.
Luke said that titty books do great on Kickstarter. Have you put a titty book on Kickstarter yet?
Like I've done originally, I did one of the first Pirate Queens on Kickstarter a long time ago.
Okay, but recently, in the last
I haven't done anything on Kickstarter recently, and I think I will probably at some point dip my toe in again just to see what it is, but I'm not in any rush to do that. Just because I'm doing so well on Indiegogo and with Comicsgate. So if I do it, it'll be down the line and just be to like test the waters kind of thing. But like, yeah, right now, like I've got no interest in like Indiegogo and Comicsgate is treating me very well, and that's kind of where my focus is.
Yeah, because I immediately when Luke said that, I was like, oh, I got to do a titty book on Kickstarter.
Well, somebody in the chat said something about that. Oh, yeah. Brian said Clint should convince Rob to do titty book.
I have serious talks with Rob all the time, and I'm not going. Rob has worked in mainstream comics more than I even pretend to. I dipped my toe in, but I would like to help Rob. I have some ideas. I have some ideas and suggestions.
Listen to this, okay? You don't want to create your own competition, so just nix this right away because Rob is a competitive dude.
I'm a total whore.
He's not going to be happy until he completely destroys you. So
no. I don't want to destroy anybody. I want to make a living.
Rob, you're a whore, but I'm the chick that's been pounded in the ground in the whorehouse.
I immediately thought of, well, I'll take the Anna character, and I'll take the cyborg chick who almost is wearing no clothes, and I'll do a 20-page story where they're just fighting and ripping their clothes off.
Well, you
that'd be a
you gotta have a story.
Cyber cat fight.
And that's where you set yourself up with a good first issue. Like your first issue, but now you can build on me and Rob I got my own this
Clint,
has been this
Clint's
is
like
whole,
you gotta finish Death Raider.
This is a whole
you
thing.
gotta finish Death Raider, Rob.
Rob, I have an idea for you. Okay, you take one of Clint's characters and you act like she's a real person. Okay, so this is a real adult porn star that's portraying a character like Blue Bombshell, right?
Yeah.
So then you do her autobiography, her real life story.
Oh, not even superhero stuff, just a lot of naked sex stuff.
I grew up in a farm.
Like she grew up in a small town. Like you play all the cliches, and then you go. She met this scuzzy guy in New York City. You know, she was doing print ads, and then was asked to, show a little bit more, and then so on and so forth.
They're all real to me, Art. They're all real to me.
Oh no.
Everything you just said there reminds me of what was the John Byrne She-Hulk issue where she appears in Playboy or something, and it's just super sleazy. I love John Byrne, and I love that he was such a perv that he made a mainstream She-Hulk issue into a porn rag kind of thing.
And that guy looked like Stan Lee. He's like,
and he was just super creepy and sleazy. That's what I'm shooting for, Art. That's what I'm shooting for.
Yeah, he had a toupee. Well, I think that would be fun. Like write one of these characters as they were a real person. Life after Blue Bombshell or something like that. The tales of Kim whatever.
I've got Blue Bombshell ideas, Art. I've got Blue Bombshell ideas. I've only scratched the surface.
Oh,
he said scratch.
Yeah, he said scratch.
Yeah. Yeah.
That'll be the next book.
I definitely want to
scratch and down
now.
Scratch his nip, Blue Bombshell. Yeah.
You want to get these issues now because they're not coming out again. Maidens of Mayhem not coming out again.
Yeah.
Blue Bombshell story, Pirate Queen story, Sword Maiden story. You want to get these books now tonight. It's closing tonight. Going to the printers Friday. Shipping next month. These books are done. You'll never get this comic again. So get it now. Get it tonight. Back this book. We're so close. 30,000 is a nice hit for me. We're about 1,500. We're about 15 backers. 15. That's
Clint, you
20.
don't overprint. Clint, you don't overprint.
Oh no, I don't overprint at all.
No overprint.
I print for shipping.
Wait. Okay, you got to see this. Okay, we'll come back to you, Marcus, because you were reading my mind there. But I just updated this. Let me see which one it is. Is it this one? All right. Maidens of Mayhem, 28,541. Let's hit refresh. Boom, boom, boom. 293 backers, 294 backers, $28,609. So awesome. Congratulations. This is badass. So we are getting closer as we go. Under 400, away from 29,000. So let's at least get there. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
We're only six backers away from 300 backers, which is I know there's giant campaigns, but a 300 backers, 30,000 campaign, that is huge for me. So I appreciate every one of you guys who have backed the book tonight and who have backed the book through this whole campaign. And there might be a collected edition down the road, but it's not going to have everything. I'm not going to give everything away. So yeah, if you want to get everything right now, Thundercock origin story, Super Tits origin story, all the art, all the retro covers that I did for Maidens of Mayhem, and then the main book, 60 pages, 3 full stories, Pirate Queen story, Blue Bombshell story, Sword Maiden story, all of it adult content, adult language, nudity. Back it tonight. It's going to be gone tomorrow. Don't wait. Get this now. So I appreciate all of my backers. I love everybody in the chat, everybody that shows up for the Pontificators every week. Listens to me ramble, and I get a couple of cocktails in me about comic. I appreciate Art. I appreciate Pedro. I appreciate Todd. Rob,
don't say it
in my book.
Yeah. Don't say it. You know. No appreciation. None.
Well, you guys,
don't appreciate Rob,
but I appreciate everybody else.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
Here's a link to the book, you guys. So click the link. I got to go back to this, okay? So, yeah, Marcus Killigrew. That's exactly who I was thinking about.
Stormy Daniels, yeah.
But she would want money.
Yeah,
I would want money to draw it. She would want money for the rights. So it would never happen.
Daniels she's the older porn star, like
porn star.
Yeah.
And she
80s and 90s. No.
No, she's still alive.
She's still around? Okay.
Trump messed around with her.
Oh, okay.
That's who it is. She's that blonde that Trump messed around with.
She had some dealings with Trump. I don't know if they had sex, but she had like this whole and he's not even getting going to court for anything he did with her. It's the hush money part of it. But it's like everything else with Trump. It's a weak case that has no legal bearings.
Merit.
It's just Democrats trying to drag him through the courts to try and impede him from getting. I mean, like,
what's the case? Like, oh my God,
Trump. Biden's got dementia. He can't complete a sentence.
Yeah, but it's a joke. Check this out. Like, what's the thing? Like, what's the case? Like, what's the case? He contracted the services of a hooker. Or Stormy Daniels.
No.
It's about the hush money. It's about they're trying to get him for paying off. Be quiet.
But wait. Didn't they find like a Democrat attaché in Congress doing things to himself?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
They've got
isn't that like a little bit more horrible than like contracting the services of a porn star? Like,
yeah, but Pedro, you're talking common sense, and that's not what they're using to go after Trump with. They're using.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's a joke.
Yeah, what happens if you drag that guy through the mud? Nothing.
If I can hire a porn star to service me, I'm not running for office. How about that? That's one of the only
probably a good idea.
Dream of.
You don't pay them to service. You pay them to be in a video with you. That's the legality.
I don't know
how
about
you do
that.
it. That's the legality. That's legal. You make it legal.
That shows you how desperate they become to do anything they can to try and keep. I mean, Biden's going to get crushed. Don't count on it. Go out and vote. Go out and vote for Trump as many times as you can. But Biden can't complete a sentence. It's a joke. But they're so desperate. But
you got to read Wall Street. Right now, Wall Street is betting on Biden is going to win. Because they're calling it a selection, not an election.
Yeah,
that's been an election for a very long time.
Yeah, that's what I'm scared of is the whole thing's rigged from the get-go.
Yeah. I think it'll be exciting. It'll be exciting if he wins again.
That's what the last one was. That's what
because people will be so angry. Yeah. They'll be so angry if he wins again, and they know that they didn't vote for him. They'll be so angry. Everyone's gonna have to go to Pedro's house. We're gonna have to go to Pedro's house.
Even if
barbecue at Pedro's. If Trump loses, it's the barbecue at Pedro's.
Mm-hmm. I have the best beef and senoritas for all of you guys.
I'll bring the
ribs. I never tasted monkey before.
I'll bring the ribs. We'll bring the meat from North America.
I mean, there's a monkey reserve right around the corner. But no,
come on. That's
I love monkeys. We're not eating monkey.
No.
Of course you love monkeys. Americans love monkeys for some reason. Like you guys
I'll bring all the pork and beef you can barbecue.
Oh no, dude! Like I have local distributors. Like I get the best beef ever, guys.
I was gonna say you probably got better stuff down there.
Yeah. Temple of the Doom barbecue.
Temple of Doom barbecue. Yeah, I remember freeze monkey brains. You don't like.
Oh
no! And he had opening the snake. That movie was awesome, man.
That was awful. That movie was terrible.
Yeah, no, dude, it was insulting. It was racist, but it was entertaining, sir.
Ooh.
And
I would have
dropped my name. We're cooking, Art. We're cooking. We're cooking.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. Ooh, yeah.
Here you go. Let me hit refresh. 294 packs,
Oh.
295 packs.
All right. Chicken gas over here.
$46.
Almost to 29. We're almost to 29, baby. You know it.
A stone's throw away. Let's watch this video. Let's see if this is playing here. So you guys back it today. This is the new book. It will be closing tonight. This is Maidens of Mayhem, Blue Bombshell, Pirate Queen, Sword Maidens. This is everything's in this book. Everything's in this book. It's drawn with extreme love from Clint Hilinski, and this will be going away tonight. So let's get this thing damn close to 30K. We are close to 29 at this point. I believe that is completely doable, but let's be ambitious here and let's get this thing to 30K. Let's make Clint happy so he can make more of these books and entertain you guys. So thanks for everything, man. That's pretty impressive.
Absolutely. No, it's great night, great closeout. The fans have supported this book right from day one. We had a big opening night. And that's the thing, just talking about running these campaigns, it's a marathon, not a sprint. And there are nights where it's like the opening night, your first 30-day closeout, your closeout for the campaign, you go in demand, and then this is when the shit hits the fan, it's push comes to shove. Like, this is it. Like, this book is going to be gone. It's going to the printers on Friday. I will be getting, I've worked with these printers for almost a decade now. I'll have all print copies of this book in boxes in the room behind me in 2 weeks. And I will be shipping this book out while I'm running the Pirate Queen Book 3 campaign. So you guys will be getting this book in a month. So tonight is the night to back it. If you haven't backed it yet, if you've been looking at it and thinking about it, it is going to be a fun, awesome comic. 60 pages, full color, 3 action-packed stories, an art book with an Thundercock origin story, trading cards, prints, digital backup story. I got tons of stuff loaded to this campaign. So you just got to check it out. Check out what reward tier you like. Etrigan's in the chat, man. Love you, Etrigan. You guys, you've been kicking ass. We'll talk more about him and the Pirate Queen campaign, but Etrigan's my man. So he's probably been working his ass off. So love seeing you in the chat, man. And no, this is just fun stuff. This is what Comicsgate's all about. Have a blast as a creator working on these books, and love seeing the fans get excited about it and charged up about these campaigns, especially on closeout night. So and I again thank all the guys in the Pontificators, and especially Art. Being on this show is a treat for me, and he gets the word out about my stuff, and I love hanging out with everybody and talking comics. Love everybody in the chat. Like, Comicsgate is so freaking awesome. I couldn't be doing what I'm doing right now with a Comicsgate and like all the controversy and stuff. I don't get mixed up in that, but I get where it comes from. Everybody loves drama. Everybody loves mixing it up. I'm not so good at that kind of stuff. What I am good at is drawing the books, getting them printed, and getting them shipped out to everybody on time. So my 9th campaign, like I'm going to be shipping Maidens of Mayhem. It's going to be almost 2 months before what the estimated date was. You're going to be getting this book. So I get my books out on time. I get them finished. And I leave the drama. Like, if I could get mixed up in the drama and spike the sales for my books, I'd do it. But nobody gives a shit enough about me to get me mixed up in the drama. So
here's some drama.
Yeah. Oh, Rob.
Why the F is everyone programming against us? If I was a network producer, I would be going fucking balls crazy, flaming shit. I would be so pissed. I would be.
I just don't think anybody thinks about it. I think they just plunk down when they plunk down and they don't worry about it. I think that's.
You take a look at Wednesday night, and all of a sudden, everybody's fucking.
Everybody's on us on a Wednesday night.
Eric Josh was on there. He was on earlier. EVS is on right now. Everybody.
Pontificators has been like Wednesday for years and years. Yeah. And so I feel this is our turf. And I was talking to you guys about, well, maybe we should move or whatever. But I'm feeling like, nah, let's not move. We're gonna stay here regardless. So we're gonna entertain you guys. We're not going anywhere. Wednesday is our night. You know, I'll debate that with anybody. And
disrespectful. They should be emailing the king, Art.
So disrespectful.
What we still need though is we still need one of these we need one of these internet tramps. We need like a cosplay girl or something, because I saw Ethan's channel the other night. They got some new chick with her boobs hanging out while she's drawing sketches or whatever. And that's like, where did she magically show up from?
That's Andy Smith. That's Andy Smith.
Todd's supposed to do that. That's Todd's job.
It's Todd's job. Come on, Todd, get a wig.
Andy Smith in a wig.
It's Andy Smith in a wig.
Those are nightmare images, Rob. No offense to Andy. Andy's a beautiful man.
No, it's right. Well, he's got a full goatee and he's doing
it. Hey, Rob, I'm trying to help you here. Can you guys see this?
I can see it.
Yeah, it's nice that you couldn't, start talking about this. But anyway, Death Raider graphic novel by Rob Hunter. He doesn't care about it. I care more about it than he does. 22,560, 514 backers. This book looks amazing. This piece of artwork right here alone, you guys need. So the link is in the description. This is Death Raider. This is Rob Hunter's new book, and it's absolutely fantastic. And Rob Hunter does draw, beautiful women. Look at here. You got it. So you're gonna get robots. You're gonna get mech suits. You're gonna get like crazy action adventure. You're gonna get sexy girls. Look at this stuff, man. This is nuts. This is a labor of love. You guys, back this book so Rob doesn't have to go back to Marvel with his tail between his legs. And
hey, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Look at that.
How dare you, sir? How dare you? Don't know what people are offering me in those emails. No, it was not supposed to be a labor of love, but I am a stubborn mofo. That's why I'm still in comics. That's why I'm still giving it 200% on this stuff. We've got guys who made hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they just went back to their regular jobs, and they can't even be bothered to finish their books. I'm here killing myself. It didn't make enough money to be colored by someone else, so I'm coloring it. It didn't make enough money to be lettered by someone else, so I'm lettering it. I'm doing everything on this goddamn book because I love this book. I love the fans who saw my shit right from the beginning and were like, "Oh, dude, hey, is that a-hole who used to ink?" So, it's been a blast. It's been a lot of fun. I've put way too much time into it, and I hope it shows when people finally get
you said on the marketing, Rob.
Thank you.
Hey, It's that a-hole that used to ink. Yeah, use that in the marketing. Yeah.
That Pedro and the that he referred to his work as shit.
Yeah, no, I didn't say that.
You said my shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that wasn't a positive. Yeah. That was a positive. Sorry.
Okay. Oh, positive shit. Okay.
Yes. Because we all do it.
Yeah.
We all shit.
We all do it.
We all
shit.
It can either be positive or negative.
Well, this is a positive, you guys. On a serious note, Rob is a top-notch inker turned storyteller. This is not an easy thing. I know because I've done it before. So just by looking at those pages, you can tell Rob knows what he's doing. The storytelling is top-notch. The artwork is top-notch. Of course, the ink is always going to be there. That's the given. But you guys come by, back this thing. Link is in the description. Give Rob a little bit of love, especially if you've already backed, Maidens of Mayhem. And there's also
sales from Clint.
No. I mean, I think there's people in the chat. See, you make it so hard. You make it so hard, Rob Hunter.
Yeah, dude. Rob. It was like 5 minutes ago. Clint cool. It's the Rob moment.
Gosh.
If you were thinking about buying black and white, you should grab Death Raider instead.
Oh, see, what is that? That's like 15.
I'm sorry, that's the natural comic book industry coming out through my mouth.
Look what I was just about to do.
Can we see black and white?
I just put your freaking link in the chat.
Why does it end with rtver.com on
it? See, this is it. This is it. You can't help Rob Hunter. Rob Hunter.
Everybody knows I'm joking.
I will smash my head against the wall until I bleed trying to help Rob Hunter. I'm not stubborn. I'm not going anywhere, Rob. You can't quit me.
I'm not going anywhere either.
Baby. It's like trying to pick up a baby slime, just like
baby slime.
No,
it's you pick up that cute little baby and then he bites you right on the thumb.
Yeah, exactly. Like, no.
Oh my.
And he's looking for your car keys in your pocket.
Exactly. Yeah. Takes your wallet.
Wait a minute. What just happened?
The baby just took my wallet.
I don't know, but Maidens of Mayhem is so close to 29K, you guys. We can't forget about Rob Hunter at this point. Just put all of our effort into Clint Hilinski's book.
You can't quit me.
Hey, I didn't make that claim. Clint did. I can quit you anytime I want.
Oh.
And I just might.
That makes me sad.
Yeah. You know what we should do for a show? The alcohol is pumping through my brain, and that's when I start thinking clearly.
Mm-hmm.
We need to do a show where we scan through TikToks and thoughts and bops and all of these internet cosplay girls, and we try and find a girl. Well, we need to find a girl is cute enough, but has low number of followers. That's where it's like
gonna land us in jail.
The girl who's been left behind by her friends at the bar at closing time. We need to find ourselves a cosplay girl who's trying to build her audience up, but hasn't really found it yet. And then we need to bring her onto the show.
That's smart.
We should do a whole show of going through all these TikToks and cosplays and Twitters and thoughts and bops that are floating around out there, and try and find and select a girl, and then she'll be our there's I don't want to mention names, but there's other YouTube shows that have their girl on the show that is a comic fan, but we can do it can almost be like Star Search or American Idol.
Yes.
We and then we can show her all of the people that are been searching her out, and then she'll want to be on our show. Just an idea running.
I like that idea. I also like the idea.
Just the vodka running through my brain right now. That's where I usually come up with my best ideas.
We do an entire show where we are writing the dialogue that Todd is thinking as he explains.
Yeah.
Clint, I don't have the corporate color for that kind of idea. That could land me in jail, sir. So,
I don't know what the rules are in Pano.
I will recuse myself from that part of the show.
I only know the Van Halen song, and I don't think the laws are involved in that.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Clint thinks it's a great idea to search for young women on TikTok.
Brian's on my side. Todd Hunters.
Yeah, the Todd Hunter. The Todd Hunter.
Clint has already organized them.
Rob Hunter and the Todd Hunter. There you go.
There is some internet girl out there that would love to be like a co-host of the Pontificators.
Yes.
That's all we're looking for.
I feel like I've just lost control of this.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is a great idea.
I just threw up a little bit in my mouth.
It's a horrible idea.
Yeah, I just threw up a little bit in my mouth, but yeah.
Oh, I already emailed 3 different women. We'll see.
Of course you did.
I'm not saying all my ideas are gold, Art. I'm just saying that I have ideas.
I just have ideas. Yeah. That's what I always say. Yeah.
Wait a minute. This sounds like
I can get the ball rolling. I can throw some stuff out there. See what's.
That sounds like an editor. I didn't say they're good. I just said there's idees.
Yeah, I didn't say my ideas were good. I just said you're going to draw them if you want to get a paycheck.
Well, you shot down female Wolverine, so we just created his daughter Wolverine. Doesn't he have a son too? He's got a son. Now he has a daughter.
Am I not wrong? Do not some of the more popular Comicsgate YouTube shows have some lovely lady guest hosts on their show that, like, I don't think it's a coincidence.
He's going to pound this to death.
Well, let's move on. Let's move on by going back to the earlier show. Listen, at double speed to catch up, going back to the Bocello art, what exactly is a halo? Just not making a connection. I understand. Well, what a halo is, it's the space between 2 objects. So, like what Chris would do, like say, like you can see this. Okay, look.
It's an outline around a main character.
Hold on. Okay, so you have me, right? So then there's the chair behind me. There's the background behind me. What he would do is he would draw a white line all the way around me. It would separate me from the chair, or it would be around the chair that would separate it from the background. So it would just be a white line that would be drawn. We call them halos around the object. And sometimes it could be, like I said, around the foreground. It could be like Chris. That's the problem with Chris, is he kind of does it all the time around everything. So you can't really establish planes because there's a white line around everything. He thinks it pushes it from something, and it can, but it doesn't always, and not the way he uses it. So usually it's a very stylistic thing that people do in comics. Well, they'll do a highlight or a halo around something.
You want me to draw it, Art? I got my screen pulled up. If you want me to draw
usually when you draw a comic book image, you don't do halos because the image becomes very, very hard to read. I guess we could probably find a Chris Bocello piece of artwork.
I do it all the time in Death Raider.
I'm sharing my.
This is once again why we can't help Rob Hunter.
No,
it's good for separating foreground from background when the background gets too busy.
Not always. I think it's a cop out. I think it should never really be used.
Oh,
Ron Lim uses it all the time.
It's a stylized. It's a stylized idea.
Yeah.
All right,
I like it.
That space that he's that Clint's outlining. I believe that's. I don't know what that other line was,
Clint,
but
fill that in black.
That space there. Yeah,
please.
Thinking about it.
Yeah. Wow.
Your computer.
It's got a very indecisive computer.
Okay, so you see that line between the arm, that's an arm, by the way, and the black space. Between those two is the halo. So that's what we're talking about.
Clint, what drawing program was that?
Clip
A small one.
Studios.
Oh, okay. I didn't recognize it.
That's an old version, isn't it? Or
yeah, that's a really old version.
Probably about 4 years old for Clip Studios.
Yeah.
So it's this whole white area between here. If this was an arm and that was like outer space, that's the halo effect. Like they'll leave that opening to like accentuate the main character, basically.
I always thought it was confusing when someone would have a Green Lantern character, and then so I would never know if it was a halo effect or if it was just a Green Lantern's shield. And sometimes it was really hard to tell. I've seen it where they did both, where they had the shield and then they had the halo effect, and I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
Yeah, there's like just too much. You get too much stuff going on.
Yeah. It's way too much. And I have an example, but it's not the most offensive. Okay, you guys can see this image.
Yeah,
oh, that's cool. That's a cool Batman.
It's a great drawing. Chris is really, really good, but
it's way more subtle.
Yeah, this is more of a stylistic thing. Let me see. Boom.
Yeah, it really helps separate the background.
So this thing right here that I'm drawing in red, that's the halo.
Yeah. So did you ink that art? Because how do you ink all those grays? Or is that just Chris?
This is all Chris. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that makes more sense.
So the thing is, like this one works a lot better because it's more of like a pinup. So he really wants Batman to stand out from the background. Yeah. So I've done stuff like this, and it's stylistic, but he does it kind of in panels and storytelling. And sometimes, like say this head right here, this will have a halo too.
Yeah. Like, so, or he does it with extreme foreshortening, and it's really hard to tell. Like,
it's like this hand will have a halo too. And so then it just becomes really like hard to like. It disconnects. It disconnects the head from the body. It disconnects the hand from the forearm, and so it's kind of a disconnector versus something that works harmoniously. And so it also takes one of those things away from an inker, which is line weight. So if you're going to draw Batman away from the background, usually you'll use a heavier line weight to do that, so then you can establish planes. So I hope I was able to, or we were able to explain that. Sometimes we use terms that are just like,
matter of fact,
Yeah. So thank you for that question. That was a good question.
And with commissions on a solo figure, it works way stronger than it might work in like a comic book storytelling thing. But on a commission like that solo Batman piece, it makes it look way stronger. So it's like you kind of pick where you use it.
I think it's just a stylized thing. It has no real purpose. It has no real existence in drawing. Halo is just, it's completely a stylized idea, and that's it. It can be used effectively. It's just a tool. It can be used effectively. It can be overused to the point of making things hard to read. And I think Chris kind of plays with that. Like sometimes his artwork gets a little hard to read because there's too many of these halos and they disconnect objects. So if you halo everything, then everything looks disconnected from itself. It never touches the thing.
I have a Chris question. I don't know if you know this, Art. Whenever he disappears from comics, I was told that it's because he's doing video game stuff. Is that true?
That's what I was going to ask you.
Like he's real good friends. Like when he'd have those parties and stuff, he's real good friends with, what are those guys called? Men of Action. You know, like the Joe Kelly and
Duncan Rouleau,
and all those guys.
Ben 10.
Yeah, the Ben 10 guys. And so I'm sure he's well hooked up with those guys. So I'm sure he does, illustration, animation, all that stuff.
Yeah, because that's what
fast. He's really
that's
fast.
what Duncan did. Duncan did too. Duncan, even in the beginning, he would tell Marvel, "Hey, I'm going to be gone for the next 2 months. I'm doing video game stuff, or I'm doing animation
Duncan
stuff."
Rouleau.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Duncan's really good. I ink some of his X Factor stuff. He's a friend. I haven't hung out with him in years, but
and those guys' style fits so well in animation. It's like you can just see them killing it over there. That's
they don't have to change their stuff too much.
Yeah, both of those guys. It's just like it's an easy side move into it.
All you have to do if you're Duncan Rouleau is just don't hatch anything. Just do stylized, like outlines, things like that.
No rendering. Just do your figure work.
Just do the cool design figure work. This is a funny story. When I was pitching a lot, when I was doing the Hollywood Shuffle, one of my big supporters, her name was Megan Kelly. Megan Kelly is the wife of Joe Kelly, and so I would pitch her stuff. She was over at Kids WB, and then later she worked for Cartoon Network when Kids WB folded. And so I remember, because I pitched to her, she goes, "This is really good." And so she kind of felt bad for me, and she goes, "We have test groups." And I go, "Okay." And then she said, "I'm going to give you some advice. I'm going to give you what is testing well, and then you can create something around these ideas." And I said, "Oh, cool." And so she says, "What's testing well right now is characters with multiple abilities." And I was like, "Oh, cool." She said, like, an archer that can also, I don't know,
fly
or something,
turn invisible.
Or turn invisible. And so I was like, "Oh, okay." So then I went and I thought this was genius. I was just like, what could you do? What could you do? And I was just like, kid everything, because this is also for kids. It's a kid show. So I was like, kid everything. It's a great freaking name. Kid everything. He could be everything. So then the idea was, okay, there's these two kids, right? There's the geek kid that knows everything about superheroes and all this other stuff. And then there's this bully, right? There's this bully that's obviously his adversary, right? So the Justice League exists in this world. So they get trapped. They're just about to die, right? And so what the Green Lantern type character does is within his ring, he traps all their powers in it. And so then he sends it out to somebody worthy, right? So the ring is searching for somebody worthy. This kid is worthy, right? And then there's this bully. So just as the ring or this power, it wasn't a ring, it was just like some kind of power bolt, just about to hit the kid, the bully gives this guy a wedgie. And so then the kid winces and goes down, and then the bolt hits the bully, right? Yeah. So now we got kind of like a what was that show called? The Greatest American Hero. So have like
the wrong guy gets the powers.
Yeah, the wrong guy gets the power. The guy that knows how to use them, all the abilities and everything, he doesn't have them. So he has to befriend, and the bully has to befriend these. So it actually makes a friendship out of something that wasn't there to begin with, right? It was adversarial. Yeah. And so that's the story. So the kid, the bully, has everything. He has all these abilities, right? So I go and I'm pitching this thing to Megan, right? And I'm telling her all about it. I'm really proud of this kid, everything. And she goes, it's a great name. It's a great name. And as this is going on, her assistant keeps bringing this artwork in, right? Like it's like being printed on a fax or something, right? And I'm looking at this artwork that's passing because, I'm here, her desk's here, the door's behind me, right? So this woman's bringing in this stuff, and she's bringing it right by me. I'm curious. I'm looking at it. It's sitting on the table. I get to see this during my pitch, right? And I'm like, I recognize that style. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, that's Duncan Rouleau's work, right? And so then I'm like, okay, I finish up my pitch. I go on. I follow up, in a week or so with her. Like, how did it go? You like the pitch? She goes, love the pitch. She said, but, we're going to go with this other show. And it's kind of the same. It's a similar idea. I go, what's the show called? She goes, Ben 10. And I was like, oh, let me guess. Ben can become 10 different characters. And she goes, yes. I'm like, oh.
$1 billion in merchandise. $1 billion.
Dude, Ben 10 has killed so many shows.
Kid Everything had a nice ring to it, Art.
Yeah, dude. No, but that's the thing. Like, Ben 10 has killed shows that made like to season 1. It's like, we can't market this because Ben 10 is killing it. And off you go.
It was a juggernaut. And rightly so, because it was all those like kind of like iconic ideas that were rolled into one, and it was just done very well. Do you guys remember that there were two things? There was that Shazam kid show where they had an RV and they were driving across the country. Guys with the kid Shazam, Billy Batson.
Very Hanna-Barbera, yeah.
Yeah, so there's that weird dynamic, and also there was this Disney show called Escape to Witch Mountain. So there was this whole guy in an SUV with these two kids. Yeah. And I thought, like, oh my gosh, because I think Ben 10 has that same dynamic, right?
Yeah.
There's an old guy that's driving
sister and the uncle. Yeah, the grandfather or uncle, I don't know.
Yeah.
They
get
guys
because they
have
to
go camping with a grandpa and have a bunch of superpowers.
I gotta go. I hope you make it to 30, Clint.
All right.
Fingers crossed.
Rob.
Got my fingers crossed.
Thanks for coming out tonight, Rob. I know you had a big day.
Oh, I appreciate that. Lots of roller coasters.
Yeah, I'm sure your tummy's swirling.
Oh, dude, I got dizzy. At one point going, I'm getting a little old for this. So
one of these days, you and I'll have to do a show again.
I know.
Very good, Rob. Hey, thanks for showing up, man. It was very cool.
I appreciate it, Rob.
All right. See you later, guys. Later, Todd. Later, Pedro.
Later.
See you, man.
Right.
Take care.
Todd's going to have to do some heavy lifting to fill in the void.
Yeah. The void.
You guys. Maidens of Mayhem. Back it. We're so close to 29. We're probably 2 backers away from 29K. And then it's all downhill after that. So it's, 1,000. That's easy breezy, right? We can get that.
Absolutely.
And look at, Clint's staying with it. He's got the blurred vision. He's got that million mile stare.
This camera here might be a little too crystal clear.
I never see you knocking anything back. I just kind of see the effects. Either that or you're getting very tired.
No, it's a nice blend of everything coming together.
Let's see. I'm gonna refresh Rob Hunter's.
Shit!
Rob went up. Rob got a couple backers.
Oh, awesome!
Rob Hunter is now. Yeah, Rob Hunter is now 22,657, 515 backers. You're welcome, Rob Hunter.
Yes, exactly.
He's one of those guys. He's one of those guys that's just so hard to help. You know what I mean? Like anything you say, he's going to put his foot in his own mouth.
Before he launches the second campaign, we're all going to have a nice sit down with Rob. And yes, I am in the zone. But we're all going to have a nice sit down with Rob on his second campaign, and like there's just like Rob did good, but like there's just things you can like kind of work the edges on a little bit. We're going to work the edges on a little bit.
Well, one of the things I would tell him is don't refer to your work as shit.
Yes. Yeah. I agree with that. I agree with
like
that.
Shit. Like
Rob has been busting his ass on those pages, and like, there's a middle ground.
What Rob does is it's kind of irony, right? Because like the work obviously isn't shit, right? Because I'm the same guy, right, as Rob. So you just kind of like it's self-deprecating. So you go, "This is my shit," So it makes you seem like you're not really like bragging about your work. But the thing is, sometimes people just parrot back what you say. Like they don't even think about necessarily what you're saying or how you're saying it. They get hung up on that word. And so subliminally or subconsciously, they're like, oh, okay, it's shit.
It doesn't do you any favors. Yeah, and it's just being self-deprecating. It's like you're there to promote and sell your work. And Yeah, you don't want, like, you want to spin it in the positive. Anything else is just kind of doing yourself a disservice. So
the thing is, like I learned over the years, is like people don't really dig deeper. Like you think like you're talking to somebody and they're figuring out who you are. So they're reading between the lines. They're really, catching on all the subtleties that you're throwing out and all this stuff. But the thing is, people don't really pay that much attention. You think they might, but they don't. So they just really parrot back the bullet points, right? So like if you say, I'm really tired, but then you say all this other positive stuff, they'll probably go, you know what? Art was really tired last night. And they'll forget all the other stuff, where he said, like but he's up for the book, or he's whatever. So they'll go with like the negative, and then they'll just parrot those things back. So I always think, like, don't make it easy on people. Don't give them anything. Give them the best, right? Yeah. This is an amazing, story. This is an amazing book. I killed myself on it. All those like good things, because just think about it. If somebody parrots it back, what do you want people to parrot back? You want them to parrot those things back. You don't want them to do the other thing.
Yeah, and especially on the internet, because like humor doesn't always come across, like when you're being self-deprecating, doesn't always come across the same way to everybody. So
exactly. Or sarcasm or
sarcasm doesn't always work with everybody. So it's like when you're promote you put the shine on. Like, everybody's got to be a salesman for their own stuff. Like,
speaking of salesmen, I'm gonna use this as an opportunity. SF Gamer, I showed this last night. I saw that. Yeah, I still have it.
I've got mine. Get yours, man. This book is gorgeous.
Oh, thank you.
Art, man, it is beautiful.
But this is for the next issue. So this is our one of our big bads for Black and White. I think what I'm going to do is, we got volume 1, volume 2. I'm going to continue that. So this is going to be volume 3, and each one's going to have a title. So the story will have a title. So this is going to be Sins of the Father. So this is going to be Black and White, volume 3, Sins of the Father. And this is her name's Juju. She's a Baltoon priestess, and I like the Black and White universe because we're going to have supernatural right next to high tech. So she's kind of a high tech, priestess. Like, she can raise the dead, but she does it with supernatural means, but also with high tech. So it's high tech meets supernatural. So I tried to give her some high tech elements, but I also wanted to make her look very organic. So, like a woman of nature kind of thing. So it was a fun exercise in character design. So I kind of was all over the place, like like Loki, Marvel's Loki, and then also, what's the character's name? Mr. Fantastic, is it not? No, Mr. Miracle's girlfriend. What is her name?
Big Barda.
Big Barda, yeah. So Big Barda,
headdress,
circular like plates and stuff all over the place. Yeah. So I kind of did stuff like that with like here on the animal skin, and then on the belt here. So I really wanted to try to do something kind of high tech. So she's got like this necklace thing, but it's kind of organic meets high tech. Her beads or braids are kind of the same way.
Very much the voodoo vibe, that like New Orleans kind of Day of the Dead kind of voodoo vibe to it.
Yeah, I wanted to do that, but with the high tech. So like the markings on her face, I kind of wanted to make them almost look robotic, like high tech, so they're very angular and stuff like that. So I really kind of was playing with a lot of elements. I had a bunch of different haircuts and different outfits and stuff, but this is the one I chose. I chose here, and this was a commission. I went a little bit above and beyond because I really wanted to use this opportunity as kind of like R&D. You know what I mean? Like really get into like the character, put some of the dead, like these skeletal warriors, around her, things like that. So in the next volume, guys, volume 3, Black and White, you're going to see a bunch of stuff like this. So we're going to have a ton of fun with just different genres, different ideas, see how Black and White fit into this world, how she fits into their, high-tech robot, hunter kind of vibe going. And so, we're going to have a lot of fun with volume 3, Sins of the Father. So you guys look forward to that. And also Black and White volume 2, we are going to be closing very, very soon. Actually, we're going to be closing next Monday, or this coming Monday, on the King Show. So we are going to be doing what we're doing here, but on the King Show, and just give you guys a last kind of hurrah, just like Clint's doing with Maidens of Mayhem. I'm very, very flattered that he wanted to do that on Pontificators. So,
totally, man.
Guys, let's get these numbers up. Let's see if we can get closer to that 30K. And it's just so exciting. I don't think Rob really gets it when I say freedom and all those things, because like he's still kind of like, I gotta make that kitty, I gotta make that money, and I understand that, I really do. Yeah. But have faith in what we're doing, because this freaking works, man.
Yeah, it does.
You can keep building, like Clint's worked it out. Like he does each campaign does very well. Like when you compare Clint's campaigns to the average, crowd fund, you are way up here, man.
I would be happy to keep, if I hit 30K on every one of my books, I'd be a very happy camper. Obviously, if I hit bigger than that, I mean, Pirate Queen 2 did 52,000. Obviously, that's amazing. And that Mandy was a big influence on that. But yeah, you're always trying to build your audience and always trying to build your IPs in your books, and you're just always building. That's what this is all about. And I've got no complaints about what I'm doing right now.
But the thing is, where I was going with it, you figured it out. You know what I mean? Like you're doing great numbers, but you also figured out, okay, I can do X amount of books. It's an ongoing, like you said, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Like everything leads into the next. The baton goes to this campaign, then to the other campaign, and so on and so forth. Because you're building something bigger than just that one campaign. And also the thing is, you're like, the biggest brand you have is you. You know what I mean? Like that's one thing that Rob's got to realize. Like he kind of is the brand. R.T. Barrett is the brand. Clint Hilinski is the brand. Pedro Ang is the brand. Todd Maroone is the brand. So that first and foremost, win people over being you, and then the campaign can benefit from that. Because I mean, none of us have like Marvel or DC advertising budgets. We're all kind of guerrilla marketing and stuff like that. So if any of this stuff's going to sell, it's going to sell based on us hustling. And
we do,
Clint's willing to do that. Pedro's out there all the time. Todd, not so much. I just wanted to see if you were still breathing, Todd.
Yeah.
Todd's drawing shit, man. He's getting stuff done right now.
Yeah, he is.
I'll show you in a minute.
All right. Well, hey, we're gonna start wrapping this up. Hey, Pedro, do you got any animation or something you'd like to show?
Dude,
so I'm not sure if it's gonna work.
I can't show it though.
Okay.
I just finished an amazing 3 minutes of animation.
One of your guys,
but the client has to, put it out. So, but dude, like I've been busy. The thing is, like I've already showed him today. I'm done. So now I'm really gonna start with. I mean, I've been like hinting this for a while. Like I'm starting an animation school. It's starting now, guys. It's already like presented that to the client. I've been fighting with that project since December. I just finished today. So
how can they sign up? Where can they go to sign up?
Oh, the thing is, like, I have to upgrade the computer. I was missing a cable. I just got here. I got a new video card, so I have to upgrade the computer, get my new drawing tablet set up, and I'm going to start making the announcement where you can go sign up. For now, just sign up to my YouTube channel. All is going to happen there, Pedro Ang at YouTube. And I'm going to teach you guys how to animate and keep you on all things Pedro Ang from now on.
Yes.
So,
so you guys check that out. I know that Pedro's on Twitter or X, and he's on Facebook. Are you have an Instagram? You have an Instagram, right?
I have an Instagram, but the thing is, like, I don't use it. On the Ganagain. I'm animating on So the thing is, like, I learned to animate on Toon Boom. I know how to animate on Flash or Adobe Animator now, but the classes are gonna be on a free software called OpenToons, and that's for the sake of the students, because that way you don't have to make any investments. It's open source, but it's excellent. I'm working professionally with it, and my clients are happy. So that's something that I want to get into the open source movement. So it's going to be OpenToons. It's going to be Blender. So on those two, like, I'm not going to do that much CGI. I'm going to concentrate on classical animation because I love drawing, and that's what we all do here. Yeah, Cartoon Animator is good, but it's very limited because it doesn't have like the animation disc. You can turn your canvas, and the camera is very limited. With OpenToons, it's basically what Studio Ghibli do. OpenToons with a Z at the end. It's what Studio Ghibli used. Like, they basically contacted the guys and said, like, hey, this is what we need, and they just made the software really good. Grease Pencil is good, but you're animating 2D in a 3D environment, and there's a lot of things that can go out of control. Blender is awesome, but OpenToons is just dedicated to 2D animation or classical. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Frankie. Says Blender is not natural to me. I use Adobe Animator.
Yeah, Adobe Animator, it's the old Flash. And the thing with Flash is that it was adapted for 2D, but Adobe Flash comes from Macromedia Flash, and that was made to make GIFs and animations for websites. But it ended up being a good tool to animate, but it's also limited with the camera, and there's things you can't do in Flash. So that's the thing. OpenToons, you can work with fields, you can make parallax effects with the camera, you can work with vector, and you can work with raster. Like, it would be your choice. So yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
That's the crazy thing is I wish I had the time to learn all this stuff. It would be so freaking amazing to like get in these classes with Pedro, because he's got so much knowledge and he's like showing you how to do it. Like, yeah, like if you can get in these.
You know what? You bring up a great point. You know what? It would be so awesome if you, like any artist, could take off a year, or I guess you'd have to be like-minded to us. Like, take off a year, 2 years, and just be able to have enough money to survive that you could indulge. And when I mean indulge, like indulge in education. Like, you could learn these things. Like, the problem with working artists is there's so little time to expand out from what you do, because you're so busy just trying to make ends meet. And holy shit, dude! There was a moment in time, and I'm so glad I did this, and I'm so glad my wife let me do this. But after Marvel fired me and Joe Quesada didn't stand up for me, I was disgusted with the comic industry, so I just left. I didn't know what I was going to do. I just left. So what I did is I asked her. I said, could I just take time off and just learn stuff and develop properties? And so what I started doing is watercoloring. I started like trying to draw in different styles. I studied animation style, because I was thinking I'm gonna pursue animation. And so that's all I did for about a year. And then, like, that Kid Everything I was talking about, Hit came out of that. Chrono Mechanics came out of that. just a whole slew of IP came out of that time. And I drew each one of those things in a completely different style, on purpose, just to kind of go outside the box. And I tell you, learning that, even coming back to black and white, I understood animation. So I understood shorthand better. I understood like cartooning. I understood like shapes better, like just basic, start off with a basic shape. Think about the character as this shape, because that's what animation does. This guy is kind of a box. This guy is kind of a figure eight. This guy's a banana shape. Like there's these shapes. But the thing is, when you learn realistic drawing, which is what I first did, like life drawing, all that stuff, you don't think like that. You think like muscle structure. You think of bone. You think of all like real things. But like to do what we do, it's better to have a cartoon background than a real like a real drawing background, like
I have something interesting to show here, because that's something that I want to incorporate into the school.
Okay.
And this is me adapting Frega's character Rascal to an animation environment. So can you share I'm kind of sharing something here.
Yeah, hold on. Here we go. Hopefully it works.
Yeah, it's very rough, but it shouldn't be like when you're animating roughly, you only need like the shapes, as I was saying. And then basically you get this.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's cool.
That is so cool.
So
a lot of squashing and stretching. Look at the squash and stretch.
Oh, yeah. That's so cool.
Look at the squash. Yeah. Oh, this is really good, man.
That is so awesome.
Yeah, so that's what I want to do. Like I'm gonna do like 10-minute videos with the classes, but I'm gonna do like a live stream weekly, where people can come in, and I'm gonna invite, let's say, like I invite Art, and we'll grab one of his characters, adapt it for animation, and make like an animation, a little animation sequence, so you guys can see how it works. And this is what I'm talking about, the camera. So this is the animation disc. This is something you can rotate.
Oh, wow.
Right, while you're drawing. And also, like the camera movement. You see, I don't know if you can see this little blue.
Yeah.
This camera.
The numbers on the side, yeah.
Yeah, so that's the framing. But if you see what's happening.
Shift the framing about to zoom it in.
Yeah, exactly.
Or zoom it out. Okay.
Well, you can move the camera. It's like moving.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Oh, wow.
You're working with field. So for example, if you see the keyframes on the camera,
yeah,
here you see the field. The field is 8. It's an 8 field, so it's kind of like what you would use at a close-up.
Zoomed in, yeah.
Yeah, then we'll move to
the camera's following him over. Yeah.
As he jumps, you break it out and move it out. Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then you go to a field 16, which is like the normal fielding.
And this is the program you're going to have people work in?
Yeah, you can download it. It's completely free. And
that is awesome.
Yeah, if you have experience using Toon Boom, it would be like very intuitive to jump into. For example, let's see. I'm looking for things I can show, because.
Well, even just that little bit just like shows you what you can do, because that, I mean, like you can like build off of that, like even though it's not fully rendered, what you can do off of that, like that. And the fact that everybody can download that software and follow you along step for step in the class, and not have to like dump a bunch of money to like learn it. Like you're learning the basics, you're learning everything you need to know about animation with what you're doing there. Yeah, that is great.
And that's the thing, like for example here, this is a scene. No, it's not me. This was done for a client a couple of years ago. And for example, here you have your background, which is the sky. You have an underlay, which would be the tree here. You have your rough animation here, which would be this guy. Right? So you always draw as fast as you can and as roughly as you can, so you can capture the movement.
Yeah.
And then you clean it up. Right? Once you get the cleanup, and then you do shadow work. But the thing is, like with shadow work, you go here to animation. Yeah, we're on the right track. You see,
do you have
here,
to animate the shadow, or is the program will the shadow follow the figure?
I mean, the program does that, but I recommend people to animate the shadows because you have more control. Like it's art, and it should be done by a human.
Yeah.
So here, for example, you have a little bit of shadow and a little bit of a glow on it. Let me turn the camera view. So it has to do a little bit of rendering here. So this is a complete program. Like you can do like a movie with this.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, it handles audio, but I wouldn't recommend people to handle audio here. I would use like an editor, like Premiere or DaVinci, to do your
so
audio.
So you add that audio in after the fact, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the thing is, like normally, if you're doing a lip sync, okay, this is already out, so I can. Is it not this? I did a lip sync with CG's own Von Klaus, but
okay.
I have to see which scene is it. Let's discard changes and change project. No, it's not this. Not this scene. Yeah, for example, here.
Days, Pedro, we got to do a show. We'll just talk about this.
Yeah, just do a whole animation show.
I find it fascinating.
Yeah. What you're doing is just blows me away, Pedro.
So here I'm this is for Okurino, and it's like I don't know why the guild marked you a hazard. You don't look so tough. Or something like that.
Yeah.
I did this so long ago, but
fantastic. Yeah, we do, because I think people would love seeing this stuff.
It's so much fun to watch it happen.
Yeah.
Let's go with let's put some spotlight on Todd Maroone.
Ooh,
so is this
that's
what you're
beautiful.
working on?
Oh, dude, look at that. That's what I just finished up.
Well, wow, that's an awesome gambit. Holy crap, that looks
Can you make it bigger?
Yeah, I can make it somewhat bigger.
Oh, there we go. God, that's great, Todd.
Yeah, dude, it's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, that looks
so
awesome.
The purple will be coming off, the stick in his hand. This whole side of his body will be lit purple,
Yeah.
I like the texture and the lighting, man.
Is this trading cards, or is this a commission pinup, or
this is a commission?
Okay, yeah. It looks like it. It looks really
that I gotta, I mocked it up, and I'll try to do it as a trading card. Well, I mean, I'll be able to do it as a trading card.
Shrink it down, but I was gonna say, like, damn, that's like a very detailed trading card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no,
I can do them pretty detailed. When the paper's right and everything's going right, I can get pretty detailed.
Oh yeah, that looks awesome.
Thank you.
Great stuff, Todd. Can you blow it up a little bigger? I want to see like from the waist up. Yeah.
So I kept the eyes real light because they'll be like white hot,
Get the glow in there, yeah.
Right. So.
I love all the render lines, man.
That's red hot.
Very good. So now, does this mean I can't make fun of you?
For a little while.
For a while. Yeah. This is really good, Todd.
Yeah, dude.
Thank you.
It's awesome. Very dynamic, dude. It's just jumping off the screen. Love it.
We got to see more. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Position where we can see what you're doing more often.
Yeah. Okay. So Atri Gain. He's asking like have the workflow in Blender grease pencil. Okay, so grease pencil is a tool within Blender, and Blender is a CGI software. So I think my opinion is that OpenTools is a little bit more complete because this is dedicated to 2D. So I would say it depends on what you want to do. And thank you, Frankie. So sorry, I'm like taking over the show, but thank you, Frankie says like learning animation is taking me a long time. I can do some, but not much. Okay. It depends on the methodology. Like when I learned animation, I learned from guys that were veterans at the Warner Brothers and 2 Disney teachers in Vancouver and Van Arts. It's 1 year to learn what you need to know in 2D. But if you learn procedurally, you're ready to go. It's just a couple. It's like 8 exercises you need to master. And those are gonna be on the channel once I get the ball rolling. So yeah, it would take you like a year, and then another year for CGI, and then it's just growing. The rest is growing.
Yeah, you guys, we'll have Pedro on. Like I'll get him on a show where it'll just be him and I, and we can just talk about all this stuff because, like I said, I find it amazing. But we got to wrap this bad boy up. I'm gonna get into this one last time. So this is Maidens of Mayhem. We are so close to 29K. Take it, Clint.
And I know with our show that we get a great audience live in the chat, but I also know that we get a lot of views in the replay. So I'm going to leave this open overnight because I know we are going to get a ton of viewers overnight here. I know when I close down the show, I look at the views, and then when I wake up in the morning, I look at the views, and there's about 200-300 more views. So this is going to be open overnight. I'm going to probably close this down early tomorrow, but this is the final close down. This book is going to the printers on Friday. I want to give everybody a chance who's been following this and like wait until the end. There's always those windows. There's your opening day window. There's your 30-day closeout. There's your 60-day closeout. You go in demand, and then this is the final closeout. This is it. You're not going to be able to get this book again. 60 pages, adult content, nudity, fair warning, Sword Maidens, Blue Bombshell, Pirate Queen, ton of action, great art, great stories. But you're going to need to get it tonight. You're going to need to back it tonight. You're watching this on the replay, back it tonight. It is going to be closed out tomorrow. I'm going to be sending to the printers on Friday. My printers, Greco, love those guys. I've been working with them for 10 years. I'm going to get those books in about 2 weeks, and I'm going to be shipping everything out while I'm running the Pirate Queen versus Slave Girl campaign. You're going to get these books while you're back in Pirate Queen. I'm just keeping the machine rolling, and this is the closest I've ever done to a closeout and a launch. So I hope everybody will come and back Pirate Queen on Friday. I'm trying something a little different here, but it is literally just keep the machine rolling, keep books pumping out through Mayhem Comics. We'll see how it goes. Fingers crossed it goes well. But back this book tonight and back Pirate Queen on Friday. And I appreciate everybody that follows my work.
Yeah, it looks great. You guys, Clint delivers every one of these campaigns. Consistency, just brilliant, beautiful women, fun stuff, you guys. So back tonight. Let's get this thing to 29K. And like Clint said, on the rerun, we get a lot of people in. So one, welcome, and two, Clint said it should stay open tomorrow, so you'll be able to back tomorrow as well. So get on that. Let's get this book to 30K. And just keep this CG party going, man.
Yes.
I mean, this still boggles my mind. It's the best place to be in comics right now. CG forever for me. I'm going to retire here. So you guys are the best. Thanks to everybody in the chat for hanging out with us. I know there's a ton of competition, and it's a little tough to kind of go, well, who do I watch? But like we said, we'll see you on the rerun. and also we'll see you next week. So we're not going to walk away from this Wednesday time slot. I think we're going to keep it. We're gonna fight for this thing. So you guys try to support Pontificators as much as you can. Tweet this bad boy out, give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you next week.